You ever get any money from Costello?
No.
And did you ever get any money from Meyer Lansky?
I never got money from any of those fellas.
None of those
None
fellas?
of those fellas. None of these that I've been reading about, or none that I knew. They never gave me anything.
None of the Shetties?
No. I don't even speak to the... I mean, I met that Charlie once or twice. I don't even talk to him.
You don't like him?
I was conscious of the fact that he had a reputation for being an outstanding bookmaker.
You ever hear him referred to as the Prime Minister of the Underworld?
That term I did not.
You're also known as Duck Corella.
I refuse to answer on the grounds of an attempted...
Got any business?
I refuse to answer on the grounds of attempted criminal.
You have any profession?
I refuse to answer on the grounds of made
You have any occupation?
I refuse to answer on the grounds of made
Are you a known racketeer?
Get any money from Costello?
No.
Are you a known racketeer?
Good evening, folks. Another Wednesday night, another interrogation. I've got our friend Lamar with us tonight. It's probably going to be just us two. Jason has a prior event with 3D Response and just busy schedules. But we're going to watch an interrogation tonight that some of you may find dry. I think others may, if you look at it from the tactical chess game point of view, I think you'll find it quite interesting. It's about the murder of Katie Blouvet. I'm probably butchering the name. You'll hear it spoken in here. It's got a French end to it. But she's a young woman who was in the middle of separating with her husband, who was an active duty U.S. Army soldier, a combat veteran at that. They're estranged over some months. She comes up, she initially reported missing. Within 30 hours of her being reported missing, they find her in an abandoned house under some debris. So this video is going to include what's called the death notification. It's what law enforcement are going to do for immediate family members. If someone is found deceased or automobile accident, any type of death, this is something that law enforcement will do. And this one in particular, if you can imagine, investigators recorded it. Not all these would be recorded, but they recorded this one. And I think that was probably wise. So you're going to get to see the guy when he's not sure if he's a suspect or not. And then you'll see him on the second interview where I believe that he's sophisticated enough that he understands what the game is. So you're going to see a slower played game tonight. Lamar, did that put you to sleep just talking about it?
Absolutely not. What the technical interrogations are the most informative. So I appreciate Joe's caveat language, but I would say it's the ones like this where I would recommend people pay the most attention.
Well, I agree. That's why we selected this one, but let's get to it. Let's get it started. It'll start you out, give you guys, catch you up to where the investigators are at the death notification.
On October 25th, 2016, police in Simpsonville, South Carolina, took a missing persons report for a 22-year-old Catherine Boyer Blavelt. Catherine's mother walked into the police department visibly distressed and explained that she had not heard from her daughter since the day before. She told officers that Catherine, who went by Katie, hadn't been answering her phone and had sounded unusual during their last conversation. While police conducted initial inquiries, contacting her workplace and documenting her absence, Katie's family began frantically searching for her, reaching out to friends and checking places they thought she might be. With no immediate leads, Catherine was officially listed as a missing person. Approximately 30 hours later, dispatch received a call reporting the discovery of a body at a nearby abandoned house. The caller, a friend of Katie's, said they had been searching for her and thought to check the abandoned house because Katie had frequented the location in her younger years. When officers arrived on the scene, they found the body of a female hidden in the basement under a thin wooden board. The remains were later confirmed to be those of 22-year-old Catherine Boyer Blavelt. Police began notifying next of kin and made their way to inform Katie's estranged husband, John Blavelt, a soldier stationed at a nearby military base, which was captured on camera.
Right here, Saturday morning. Sorry.
What did you guys? What was your conversation about?
The dog, John Jupiter. She wanted his shit. She wanted his medical records and his dog bowl, and I told her basically to go herself. She's not supposed to. We're supposed to be talking. The restraining order.
Okay. This conversation is gonna get a little personal, brother. I'll go ahead and just put it out there. What the restraining order deal? What's the deal with that?
This is a charge back that I got back in February, 28th or 27th, end of February. Domestic violence, first degree. That she charged me with. And then obviously when that happens, the state issues a restraining order.
Right.
It's just never. I mean, they found and then told us that we can't lift it until my court has a disposition. Yeah.
Okay. What has anything ever like that ever happened before? Have you guys ever had any big issues like that in the past?
I mean, we were the worst couple. We argued a lot, but I think it was just bad timing, honestly, because she was going through some shit, and I was going through some shit, and she just left one day. It was like a Tuesday, and then she came back Friday with the entire Fountain Inn Police Department, and it was a pretty big scene. It was like a 4-hour thing. Okay. And then, I mean, I'll tell you, but after that, we talked or whatever still, and we still saw each other pretty often.
When was the last time you actually saw her?
I'd say probably July, because she moved out in April, I think. She stopped 100% coming over in April, and then we talked on and off. Mostly she just wanted to see the dog and shit, so she would come over with her dog, Jupiter, and she'd see Marley for a little bit, but we couldn't really connect again. That wasn't really working, so she just kind of.
Do you know if she had any issues with anybody? Anybody that wouldn't hurt her or anything like that?
No, and I know that she's been dating around, and it's whatever, because I've been too. But I just know she's been dating around. I talked to Cheyenne, and she said she was fine. She had I guess this guy that she's. I don't know if they're in a relationship or not, but this one guy that she's with who's pretty cool with her.
You know who?
All right, let's get our first round in here. Lamar, you've got this guy. He's got a combat patch on. He's probably been in long enough to be non-commissioned officer even. You probably knew that prior to making contact with him. By the way, they've done this at his place of work. They're on some sort of a base nearby. I'm not sure which base they're on, but they're at a base nearby. And then you get the information, which they probably already knew this as well by checking the name, that he's got a pending charge for a felony assault against your missing person / homicide victim. What would you expect to see or how would you prep yourself going into that first initial contact? Because this first initial contact is important. That's why they're recording it. What maybe a strategy you would use?
So the approach I would use is one to let him talk. I would be paying very close attention to how he reacted to the news about his ex or estranged wife. And then, a tactic I would try to employ later on, which was something that we always leaned into with respect to green suitors, was a tactic called honor up. You appeal to their service to the nation, honoring their uniform, their unit, aligning with the Army values.
Well, now remember, this is just a death notification.
Yep. I got you. I know I'm a little bit ahead of where we are right now, but that's my mind immediately went to that.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think that as the investigator, the best I would hope to get out of this is to lock him into a story, and I think that's what they're doing, or at least it sounds like they're laying the groundwork for that. But I think you lock him into a story. If everything checks out, he's not your guy. If something doesn't check out, then he's got a little asterisk by his name because he would be a prime. He's already the prime suspect. But let me flip it around. Do you believe that this guy sitting in that chair? Do you think he knows he's a prime suspect, or do you think he's not sophisticated enough to understand to read between the lines?
I think he knows a little bit of something. So what's weird about the setup here is that I don't think it's advantage to the interrogators. They don't have an opportunity to sit in front of him and kind of stare him down a bit. It gives him an opportunity to do the kind of lose his eyes off into the distance. But I would be willing to bet he's starting to wonder how much they know with respect to him and what happened to her.
Right. I think he's sophisticated to know even if, and I'm not saying this guy had anything to do with it at this point in the interrogation, but even if he didn't have anything to do with it, he's got to be smart enough to know that he's very high on the people we need to talk to list that may have something to do with this woman's death. And I think his answers are that way, and I think we'll see the interrogators will kind of go down that road with it. But at this point, a death notification as an interrogator or investigator, I would want to walk away from there with a good detailed story. These rocks I talk about, I want to make sure there's plenty of those planted around them, ask those type of questions. But I also want my suspect to believe that that was just a death notification and that we're probably not going to return. Let's get into it and finish it up, or at least this first part of it.
Who that guy is? I just know his first name is Zach. I don't know. I think he's a good like family friend. I don't know. I don't really delve into her personal shit anymore because it's kind of hurts. But
Do you know there's a guy that used to live with you, redheaded fella?
redhead?
Yeah.
Wayne?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What's his story?
Just regular dude, good guy.
Friends with him.
Mm-hmm. I mean, we had a falling out too, but that's because he's an asshole, and he got in a car accident like 4 months ago, jacked his arm all up, and then he was staying with me rent free, because he was down on his luck. He didn't have nowhere to go, so I told him, shit, I got a bedroom, and then he just kind of left one day with some girl, and we kind of had a falling out. I've probably seen like 4 or 5 times after that. But Wayne's always been a good dude. He's got a good heart. Okay. So
what are your normal hours here at work?
it's supposed to be 9 to 5, but most days I get out around 2 or 3. Always 9, but it just really depends on when they leave. And then
Who's your supervisor?
Captain Dines, Marcus. Like he just left. I bet he'll be back in 10, 15 minutes.
See, Dines?
Yeah, Dines. And then first one, Goad. Dave.
Did you work this Monday?
Mm-hmm.
What time did you get off Monday?
Like 2:30ish, 2. I don't know, because they left on Monday to Easley, or I think the first sergeant and the commander, they go out to all the recruiting centers. I know he didn't go today because he took his personal car just now. But I just hung out here with Judy for a little bit and talked to her.
Where'd you go after work?
Home.
What car do you drive?
The Prius.
Prius.
Gold.
Did you stop anywhere on the way home?
Mm.
Was anybody home with you?
When I got home, yeah, my roommates were there, and
So I hear your roommates are coming home.
Crystal. And Brandon. But they will be home. They normally get home around 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock. Brandon gets home a little bit earlier than that. And also Hannah Thompson. She's actually the one who took me home from work here. I'm excited to bring her this old.
And like Gary said, I don't really care about the restraining order issue. I know people still talk when they're not supposed to and still see each other. That's just human nature.
Yeah.
Did you see her on Monday? Not at all.
No, the last time I talked to her was on Friday about the bowl.
But you didn't physically see her on Monday? Did you talk to her at all?
On Monday, no.
Do you have any text messages in your phone between the two of you?
Yeah. I don't know how many times she's. The last text I have is October 6th, and I texted her the other morning. But, all those unsaved numbers is her. So.
Let me ask you this. Did you ride around Cheyenne last night looking for her? Where'd y'all go?
It was the address on Scuffletown. We went knocked on somebody's door. On Scuffletown Road.
Whose address was it?
I don't know. I could probably get the address, but we knocked on it. They were doing their sleuthing, their own sleuthing. And they said that they got an address, and we just went and knocked on the door and said, "Do you know Katie Boyd? Have you seen her?" And the dude didn't even answer the door. We just talked through the door.
Continue along this road.
We just left out after that. We went back to my house.
Let me ask you this. Why were you looking for Katie?
For Cheyenne. Cheyenne is destroyed right now, and I'm just trying to help her out. Because, me and Cheyenne are best friends.
Oh, you are?
And me and Katie ain't the best to each other, but still married to her. And really just for Cheyenne.
Who do you know that would want to do harm to her?
Not nobody. I really haven't been intimately talking to Katie since June or July. I want to say the end of July just because it needs to get sooner, but I can't think of nobody that would actually want to do anything to her because she's just average, quiet. Like she doesn't talk shit, but she doesn't talk that kind of shit. And then
she ever come by your house at all, maybe to see you?
A couple times, yeah.
When was that?
That wasn't since back in the day. She came by the other day. Crystal told me she came by the other day because Crystal got a new kitten and she wanted to come see it. But I wasn't home. She came by and saw this cat or whatever and then played with my dog and then left.
Have you ever gotten so mad at her that maybe you did something you didn't mean to do?
No, absolutely not. I used to have a drinking problem, so I used to get pretty mad. And we used to have like yelling matches and shit, but she has some lungs on her, so we could go back and forth all night. But I hadn't drank in 2 months now. It's just because I'm trying to turn my shit around. I don't know when this court date's coming up for me with this domestic violence, and I don't want to be lost, when it hits. So I've just been trying to turn my shit around.
What do you do for the Army?
Well, right now I just sit in this small office right now. Because of the civil investigation, all of my recruiting duties have been suspended. So I've literally been sitting here since about March.
What do they have you do during the day? Just office type stuff?
Playing on the phone. Today I'm supposed to drive to Fort Jackson because I had a mental health assessment because it's part of the chaplain process. And then, take, this kind of crap down there. I was supposed to take some tablets down there. Nothing real, no real work.
Gotcha.
Cheyenne, what's her relationship to your wife?
That's her niece.
Okay. Are they as close as you and Cheyenne are?
They used to be, and I think they were getting back to it. Cheyenne was pretty mad at her for a long time about this shit that went down in March. Because she was living with us at the time.
Okay. Would she talk to Cheyenne about anybody who was seeing or any issues that she may have been
I think so, yeah. Because Cheyenne told me last night that she's, Cheyenne told me shit last night about Katie that I didn't know. Like, she's been dating around and stuff like that. So I know that they were talking like that.
Cheyenne hadn't mentioned anything to you about any issues that you may have been having.
Cheyenne called me at 1:30 in the morning and was like, "Have you seen Katie?" And I was like, "Go away, like I'm asleep." And then the next morning I wake up and she's blowing my phone up, and I'm like, "What are you talking about?" And so that's when we kind of started getting concerned, and that's when we started looking. I guess.
Are you familiar with this abandoned house?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the spot.
What's the
It's
spot?
the hangout spot.
How come?
I guess because Cheyenne and her friends found it, and then they have to, being teenagers, they gotta do the coolest thing they can imagine. So I guess it's hanging out of this abandoned house, and then I've been there a couple times. So
When was the last time you were there?
probably, I don't know,
Like a week ago, a month ago?
it's been months. If anything, it's been months. Am I being charged with a crime? Because he's recorded me, and I'm not comfortable with that.
No.
And if I am, I'd like to contact a lawyer.
Wowza.
Because this is uncomfortable.
Okay.
That's a good point to talk about. So they're recording him in the open, and the questions started getting more difficult. They talked about, have you ever been to the location? By the way, the abandoned house he's talking about is where the body was found. His estranged wife's body, Katie. So the questions started getting more difficult, and once again, I think the sophistication of this subject is something you would have to take into account prior to sitting down and have some sort of an attempt, at least, to keep him talking before he asks for an attorney. But what do you think about it so far, Lamar?
I think there was a very soft phase line between death notification to I wouldn't call it an maybe an interview, um, but he picked up on it pretty quick. I think as soon as he started detecting that the questions were getting more pointed and more about him and where he was and who he knows and relationships and history, uh, I think an alarm bell started going off in his head.
Okay, and you're familiar with the Army, as am I. This guy is a staff sergeant recruiter, combat veteran, and he is he's undergoing evidently some sort of a chapter, probably because of the domestic violence charge that's pending. This guy's circling the drain, is he not? Not to mention this 17-year-old girl that he is going to this abandoned house because that's what cool teenagers do, in air quotes. But yet he's a recruiter. He deals with young teenagers at the high school level on a daily basis when he's performing his duties. Would that trigger anything for you as an investigator?
Yeah, it would raise a whole lot of questions, and I'm trying not to assume his specific MOS and what he was doing downrange, but I would say if I were being questioned like this, it would sound very similar to what we call TQ, downrange tactical questioning, and that was only done against people who we were very interested in. Like we knew they were associated with some shenanigans. So it makes me wonder if that was the thing that kind of pushed him to ask very directly if he was being charged with something.
I think in Charlie Sue used some common sense on X. Says, "Oh, why did it take so long for him to notice that he was being recorded? It was a handheld, as we can observe, obviously." I don't think that he challenged this or started, we'll call it standing back or pushing back on the investigators until the questions got too uncomfortable. This goes back to my original point on this. And by the way, I want to welcome Lucian. He's slid in here with us, and we appreciate you showing up, my friend. But I think as an interrogator, you had to sit down with this and try to milk as much as you can, because eventually you're going to get to this point. Maybe this is it's a high probability that when this guy gets uncomfortable, he understands how things work in the world, whereas some people don't. But he understands how things works in the world. He's already been charged. He's been through the arrest and probably an arraignment process on the civilian side. He is a staff sergeant in the United States Army. He's got the aptitude to be a recruiter. He is he's got a lot of problems for an investigator to trick him into saying something. But I think that you try to milk it to try to get as many rocks as you can. Did you go back and during the questioning where he said, well, you left from here and then you went home? Yeah. Did you stop anywhere in between? These are the rocks you guys hear me talk about that you're looking. I can go to a convenience store and get a video camera to show that you were there at whatever time, or show that you weren't there at whatever time. So I think they did a good job of milking it out, but I think we're going to get close to the end here on the am I being charged? But Lucian, welcome, my friend. Have you been able to watch any of this, or are you just now coming in?
No, I'm coming in completely cold on this one.
Good. That's the way we like it. We've got a murder of this gentleman you see on the screen is the estranged husband of the murder victim, who was found in a abandoned house that this guy just admitted a few minutes ago that he does frequently on occasion. He is a staff sergeant at the United States Army, currently on recruiting duty, and in the throes of being chaptered out for a previous domestic violence charge against the murder victim in this case. And this is, they call it the death notification, but it's kind of turned into they've turned up the heat a little bit. And his reaction is, "Am I being charged? Do I need an attorney?" And that's pretty much where we left it off.
Interesting.
All right, let's go back to it.
You're not being charged. Okay, with a crime right now.
I know. I just want to cooperate with that. You know,
this brother is a death notification. That's the big reason I'm here.
I'm shook right now.
This conversation, I understand. Beginning the conversation when I told you that we investigate every death or anything except a natural death we investigate as a homicide until we can prove otherwise.
Right.
That's the reason why that we all are here. Our conversation here is more for trying to figure out just kind of a time frame and put together a frame of what happened.
Right.
The questions we have, obviously, put it out there, bro.
Any prediction that he loosens up and becomes more talkative after being told he's not being charged?
I think he's on guard. I think they're going to have to show and prove a little bit, and he'll be able to detect it through the questioning.
I think so. I think it will loosen his guard up a little bit. Being explained that it's a death notification, that, hey, this is standard protocol type of thing. But let's see. Maybe I'm wrong.
Y'all are in the middle of a nasty divorce.
Right. I know. And I've seen the shit her mom's been saying about me on Facebook, too.
And, that doesn't hold any weight with us one way or another.
I hope not.
We have a job to do, and that's all we're doing. And recording you is nothing to put you on blast or anything like that. Okay. It's totally for our benefit, okay?
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm asking for.
Our job is to find out
what happened,
who killed her, and bring them to justice. So we're not looking to do anything to you. We'll be.
Sorry, folks. I've just got to point out that was the most truthful thing any interrogator or investigators ever told a subject. This video is completely for our benefit.
Yeah.
The guy's like, "Oh yeah, I agree. You're damn right. It's for the state's benefit, man. Building a case against you right there before your eyes."
Here for you because yours, and regardless of your marital status, you still have feelings for her.
Yeah, I mean, I wanted to call and ask if I could get an update, but with her mom and shit like that, I don't want to.
I know.
I don't even want to be around. Like, I don't want to accidentally be there at the same time her mom shows up. She shoots me in the face or something, because that's the shit that she was saying about me, like, had me nervous. So I mean,
you earlier you were saying that the house, the abandoned house, was the kind of hangout spot. Mm-hmm. To your knowledge, who all that knew both of you guys hung out there on the regular?
Probably Cheyenne. Now I don't know how often they go there now, because Cheyenne's number one got put in jail, so she's been kind of on the low. So she hasn't been really going out as much. But Cheyenne for sure, and then probably Cheyenne's group of friends.
What was the redhead's guy's name? Michael, was it?
No, that's Wayne.
Wayne. Wayne
So,
is
Joe,
Wayne
if you
one
don't
of
mind,
the
I just
individuals who hang
want
out
to
with
point out
you?
something really
Yeah, me and him in
nuanced
there together.
that I noticed in the questioning. So after they detected that he peaked a bit, suggested the potential for a lawyer if he was being charged, and articulated his uncomfortability. You notice that they're now asking questions with people within his orbit, not specifically him. And I think that's a part of the de-escalation. Let's try to bring the temperature down in him a little bit to help him relax.
You know what? I 100% agree. I think by letting him off the hook, no, you're not being charged. This is pretty standard. It's a death notification. We treat all these this way, and we're recording this for our benefit, but it skipped right through him. I think it did. And let's go to the chess game. I think that this individual there, if he's guilty, the best thing that he could do right now is to appear to be cooperative and honest and avoid any further scrutiny. The more scrutiny that you draw to yourself, then I think that would make you fearful for being caught. On the flip side of it, the investigators are wanting him to just milk this as long as it goes. There's not going to he's not going to say, well, he could confess, I guess. Most likely he's not going to confess on the first initial interview that he's not compelled to be at. So I think you've got to milk him along, and I think that's what we're seeing. I think that was a good move by breaking down. Things are normal. This is the way it's always done. We're here just because you knew her, or we're here because you're the estranged husband. We're here because of the charges pending against you. Obviously, we have to talk to you. So I think the chess game goes back and forth. I think, in my opinion, law enforcement always wins this game. They're always going to look further. But good point. Good point on the questioning. But I think the goal is, and I think they probably said before they went in there, our goal is to get this guy talking as long as possible, and let's get as much information we can to go prove or disprove or confirm or deny. And Lucian, my friend, you jump in whenever you've gotten a taste for the water.
Will do.
We actually spent a night there together.
Okay.
Probably last March.
Okay. Anybody else that would be affiliated with Wayne and you, or Wayne and her, that would?
I mean, we all had pretty much the same group of friends, because most of the people I met, I'm not from here, so most of the people I met down here were through Cheyenne and Katie. So, if it's my friend, is more than likely it was already Cheyenne's friend.
When was the last time you talked to Wayne?
I think he was at my house like 2 or 3 months ago. Okay. But I haven't talked to Wayne since then, because, like I said, we just kind of went our separate ways.
Has Wayne and your wife, were they pretty good friends, or?
They used to date back before we met, and I think, it's speculation, but I think they hooked up a couple of times since me and her separated in March.
Okay.
So I don't know if they were dating necessarily,
right?
But I know that they were kind of closer than friends.
Okay.
So,
and that's never been an issue with you.
I don't give a damn, man. She flipped my life upside down. So when she was like, we're done, I was like, great, dude. Stop contacting me. Like, we're done. Cool. And since then, I've just moved on, and she just moved on. So I got no bad blood against Wayne. I'm pretty sure they were dating, and he was in my house, like, chilling with me. So, and it didn't, and I knew, but I'm not the kind of guy that gives it crap, because live and let live, move on, find somebody new.
So, understand that.
Do your work here, do you guys clock in and out, or is it just kind of casual?
No, you just walk in.
Pop in, pop out. If you want to go run errands, you go take care of it.
Yeah. It's nothing major, because I was supposed to go to Greenville just now and get them tablets, but it's not like they're never too official with me, because I kind of just hear.
Right, you're not really assigned to them.
Yeah, they trust me to just sit here and be quiet, so, yeah. Notes sometimes from meetings.
Gotta be bored to death.
Yeah.
Only so much Facebook and news you can watch.
I got so many people on my Facebook just from sitting here. Just keep adding them, just to watch that drama. Yeah, I play a lot of games on my phone, but it's not too bad.
How long you been in the Army?
Coming up on 10 years in January.
All right.
Yeah, but I'm done. I'm getting out.
You used to recruit there on Fairview Road, and then Pelham.
Never on Bell. I was always down there. I just came up here after the civil charges. Yeah, I recruited from Malden High School all the way down to Clinton High School and out to Woodlawn.
Anything else?
I think I'm good. We will kind of let you know where we're going as far as with her from here. We'll do an autopsy today. We will have, I'm about 99% sure we'll have a manner of death today. I can't say that about the cause. It just depends on what we see. Okay. You are her legal next of kin. You guys are still legally married. You're
Right.
legal next of kin. Within the same token, her mom, morally, right thing to do would be to allow me to discuss anything with her.
Right. Yeah.
About this death.
Yeah.
Legally, I have to get your permission to do that.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So we'll definitely stay in contact with you.
Okay. Obviously, there'll be a second interview. We'll call this one actually an interrogation. Any comments on that first death notification? What do you think the investigators were able to walk away with out of that?
So I would walk away with an understanding that the subject is testy. He's savvy. For as much as I'm not saying that he feigned an emotional response at the death notification, he's very aware of his surroundings much more than maybe they thought at the very beginning. He can detect when the questions are becoming more pointed, and his defenses naturally go up. I would say, obviously, in a way that they don't want, but I would say there's some smoke there.
Yeah, I agree. I think in planning the subsequent interrogation, a couple of things and he gave a lot of information. This is stuff that you can go and confirm or deny. I think that, but he's also a hair trigger. This guy will wall up pretty fast, and I think a subsequent interrogation, I would think that it's probably going to end up at invoking right to an attorney and no questioning, stopping questioning at that point. But I think as an interrogator, I think you go into this the same way they went into the death notification. Draw out as much as you can to try to further the investigation.
So how did he behave in the first few minutes when they actually gave the notification? I missed that. It would be an interesting comparison to what I see now.
Well, you had the demeanor became a little colder towards the end. In the beginning, it was more warm. He cried. It could have been feigning, or he could have been truly upset. He appeared to be pretty forthright when they talked about the relationships. Like, we had a horrible relationship. We fought. He seemed to be what one would believe to be maybe even some half self-incriminating statements, which would lend you to believe that it's true. Because why would you say it if it wasn't? But the tighter the questions got, the more cold and callous and more withdrawn he got to the point. I don't know if you were here when he asked point blank. He said, "You're recording me. Am I under arrest?" And they explained to him that he was not. It was an interview.
Interesting, because what I don't see much of that here. What I see is him withdrawing. He's selecting eye contact, but he's also kind of pulling away. So interesting change.
Yeah, I think that you could mark that with your finger on the exact spot where it happened, and that's when the questions got towards him knowing where the body was found. It is a place that they would go and party, and him being a guy, 10-year veteran of the United States Army, staff sergeant, recruiters, hanging out with 17-year-olds partying in an abandoned house. And it was at that point he had questions about, am I being charged? But remember, folks, on the second one, they're going to have to read him rights. You don't necessarily have to read rights on death notification. You don't have to read rights if you're just interviewing someone who's a potential witness. But you do need to read the rights prior to an interrogation, because at this point they're going to know they're a suspect. So I think they have to go into this very carefully, because however long the interrogation lasts, you want, as an interrogator, I think you want to draw it out as long as possible so that you can pull as much information out to either show. And remember, if it goes to a trial, you can show this interrogation, and point out the different things they lied about, and actually enter that into evidence. So the more of it you have, the better off you are. But if you guys don't have any more to add to that, let's get on to the second part.
Yeah, let's go.
So they're bringing him back after the
November 2nd, 2016.
What we know about the relationship.
3:30 p.m. John Tufton Blauvelt.
Yes.
Investigator Manley and Investigator Moorcraft. Case number. We hadn't really had a chance to sit down. I know I talked to you that day when we notified you about her death.
Yeah.
And things are kind of emotional and everything. So
I just want to address Charlie Sue's comment. Surprised an Army recruiter that served overseas doesn't have enough common sense to ask for JAG or a local attorney. Charlie, I think that's just the point that you as an interrogator doing this, you have to understand that we believe that he is. So you're going to have to do the dance with him to keep him talking, to thinking that maybe it's a benefit to him. But the minute he realizes it's not, I think this guy clams up. But good point you bring up. I think the deal is he is sophisticated enough to know that he needs one, but he's also maybe wise enough to, or thinks he's smart enough that he could throw them off the trail.
we're still working the case, obviously, and trying to figure out who killed her.
Mm-hmm.
We've talked to a bunch of people. We wanted to give you some time to grieve and do what you need to do mentally before we brought you in here. But we would like to ask you some questions that maybe you can give us an answer of what we're looking for. So with that in mind, are you willing to talk to us today?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. What I have to do is read your rights. We've been doing that with everybody we've been talking to because, anybody could potentially be a suspect.
Right.
So with that in mind, right now, are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol?
No.
All right, John, what I'm going to do is give you this identical form that I'm reading. It's just your rights. It's kind of like you've seen on TV and stuff before. I know you've had some previous minor run-ins with the law. All I can tell you is keep an open mind. We're going to treat you fairly and respectfully, and just ask for your cooperation and honesty. So try not to let these past instances, jade you or anything like that. Okay. Having those rights in mind, are you willing to talk to us today?
Yes.
Okay. What I need you to do, just from this top portion, pick any of those lines out loud and just read one out loud to me.
You have the right to remain silent.
Okay.
Sign it.
Yeah, sign it, and then initial next to the word coercion, just showing you understand what that means. So I understand you've been deployed twice?
Yes.
Iraq?
Before we get into these little baseline questions they're dancing in, but I think we're seeing exactly what we were discussing prior to the beginning of this interview, is that they're going to dance into this. I like the way the investigator or the interrogator said that we're just asking for your cooperation. We want you to be cooperative. That kind of puts back in the suspect's head, or the interviewee or interrogate the person being interrogated, puts back in their mind that if I'm not cooperative, then that's worse than me trying to be cooperative. So they kind of wade into the water to see what the temperature is going to be. But I think that, to use an old phrase, I think these interrogators are going to try to turn the heat up slowly before the frog realizes it's cooked.
Yeah, I agree. And something even more nuanced that I noticed when they started was they appealed to his emotional state or assumed emotional state to kind of bring his defenses down. They said, we wanted to give you time to mourn. We know that this is hard. Hopefully bringing his walls down and making him more willing to talk.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's what we'll see, a slow turning of the screws, because if we go too fast. One of our viewers made a comment, I think it may have been Mayhem, talked about maybe last week, a week before last, where the interrogators went hard and fast and then tried to back it down, but they couldn't recover it. But I think it's cool that he realized that, because we're seeing two different interrogation styles, and this one, I think, so far has been pretty appropriate. With that, let's get on into this dance about this guy being cooperative.
Yeah.
How long were the deployments? The usual year?
12 years. Or 12 months. 12 years.
When was the last time you got back?
2010.
So where in Iraq were you?
The first time I was down south, near Nasiriyah was the main city, and that was like 200 miles south of Baghdad. And then the second time I was up north at Kirkuk City. Well, we were in Kirkuk City, and that was like 100 miles north of Baghdad.
You were a tanker?
Mm-hmm.
So you actually drove the tank, or you?
No, we were on Humvees and dismounted. We didn't take tanks.
Okay. So you were like patrols and stuff?
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty cool.
The city we were in my second deployment was too small for tanks, so we just we had to rip down all power lines and houses and all kinds of stuff.
Oh, okay. Guess they wouldn't want you to be doing that.
Not any more than we were.
How's recruiting? Is that obviously a lot different than being deployed?
Yeah, that was probably the worst job I've ever had.
Really?
Mm-hmm. I hated it.
Just
every moment of it.
Really?
Yeah, because I joined the army at 18 to fight in Iraq.
Shoot guns,
shoot
cool
big
shit.
guns, yeah. And then they had me sit behind a desk, and it's
you
not.
couldn't get a different assignment or anything?
No, it's like one of the army's like mandatory assignments. You either take it or you get out.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. So I took it.
And Simpsonville was your first place?
Mm-hmm. It was a strange situation because we were living in California at the time, so it would have worked out where I would have had to drive here because recruiting school is here in Columbia.
Yeah.
So I would have had to drive here, drive back, and then drive potentially back here. So they just moved me here first, and then I went to school here. Normally you get a selection of duty assignments, but I didn't get one just for ease of movement. They just moved me down here first.
So where would you go do most of your recruiting? Schools, stuff like that?
Yeah, everything from Malden down to Clinton, out to Woodmont, all the schools in between. A lot of cold calls, a lot of just calling. Mm-hmm. We get the list every year from the high schools of all the seniors, and we just got to call them.
Wow.
It's pain.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
Horrible.
Not nearly as exciting as Iraq and stuff.
Mm-mm.
I appreciate your service. That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
you went over there.
Had a good time.
I'm sure you got some memories, good and bad, and in between. But from what I understand, you make some really good friends through the military.
Yeah.
Like I said to you before, we just want to get some background information and kind of paint a picture of what we have going on.
Okay.
Just kind of tell me about when you guys met, how you met.
She worked at the firehouse. Do you know where the recruiting station is? She worked at firehouse right next door.
Okay.
So I was going through some crap with my current marriage. We were kind of on the way out of that marriage. So me and her just kind of met and started dating. I was still living with my wife at the time, and she was dating her boyfriend, and I was dating my girlfriend. So it was kind of a funny situation. I was staying at her house most days during the week at her dad's house. And then we finally got an apartment in December of 2014, I guess it was. Yeah, so that's kind of how we met. We just, we both smoked cigarettes at the time, so we just went out and smoked.
Okay, yeah.
You just meet people through smoke breaks.
And you got married in what year?
2015.
Okay. And so I know obviously about the incident that happened between you guys allegedly in January, and then she didn't file a report till February.
Yeah.
What made her file a report a month later about something that?
That was just kind of her personality.
Just get back at you for something she pissed, or?
That was her personality. When she got mad about something, she would act extremely childish until she got her way, and if she didn't get her way, she would just escalate until she got her way.
And they believed her about something that happened a month before?
I got arrested for it.
That's what I'm saying. It's kind of strange.
Whether or not they believed her, I still went away in handcuffs, and I still had to get bailed out of the county. And so, whether or not they believed her, there wasn't it was just a statement.
Right, that's what I'm saying. It's just he said, she said.
Yeah, I went away for it. And then, she moved out like the Monday or Tuesday. She moved out in the early week. By the end of the week, she was back.
I don't want to break it up too much.
Clearing out all of her shit. And then when I said okay, bye, Because we had played that game before where she left. She would always come back.
Yeah.
Well, most of the time she would leave. I would beg her to come back, and she would come back. And then we'd make it another 2 or 3 weeks. And then she would leave, and then I'd beg her to come back.
Hey, Joe, can you hear me?
And then I just didn't beg her to come back.
What kind of stuff were y'all arguing about?
Everything.
Just normal.
Just normal stuff.
People stuff.
And then being a recruiter, I talked to a lot of different people. So I had 2 phones, and I talked to a lot of females, and she didn't like that. But that was my job as a recruiter.
What you want to say, Lamar?
Sorry about that. Yeah, so I think it's a really nuanced speech pattern that you can pick up on. So having someone recount a situation that they've been involved in where they believe they may have been unjustly treated, you can learn a lot about their worldview. So he does he does this thing I've now picked up on where the authority figure or whatever is being unjust to him is overreacting, and you notice that he starts to omit the details that would highlight any of the wrongdoing that he has done. So I would be willing to bet that that line of questioning, and I've said this in other shows, it's a form of control question. They probably know the very specific details of that incident, but wanted to see how he would recount it.
100%. They've read everything that's available on that case, including how officers got to arrest and how he got through the indictment process. And you're right, but what you're able to, and we've talked about this before, they'll tell you how they're going to tell you the story. They read it in the beginning with these non-threatening questions. And I think especially in this situation with a more sophisticated subject, I think that as an investigator, you kind of take what's there. You don't start pressing buttons yet. Charlie Sue says, good practice talking about his Army career, getting him to open up. Yeah, absolutely. I think that's 100% part of the strategy. Lucian, did you want to add anything to that, sir?
No, I've been watching some of his patterns there. I agree with what Lamar pointed out. I also noticed that his pacing picks up when he thinks he's got an opportunity to paint himself as either blameless or a victim of overreaction. I thought that was kind of interesting. He didn't actually deny the events, but he said, "Well, I don't know, but I went away for it." So
it's almost like admit and then mitigate.
Yep.
And it's definitely a tactic. What do you think about the interrogation room? I kind of like it. It's almost like a hostage video.
I was noticing that there doesn't appear to be a table directly in front of him, so he's kind of exposed, and it's clear that the interviewer is sitting above eye level, so it's kind of a dominance position. I get the sense that the interview is probably sitting on another higher surface, not like not necessarily like a chair or a stage or anything like that, but
it could be some distance back as well.
Well, look at the focus point of his eyes. The interrogator's not that far off camera, but I think it's an interesting power play with someone who is probably used to intimidating other people.
Yeah. Hang on. I want to make this clear. I'm pretty sure this dude was always Sergeant Cotton Candy, soft and sweet. He wasn't intimidating no one.
All right, I am mollified.
So I picked up on that as well. This one's different. It immediately made me think of a tactic that we would use in the government where it's very similar to when you're administering a counterintelligence polygraph or a lifestyle polygraph. You could be sitting off to the side, and the subject is able to visually see at least the mechanism of the machine, but not the screen and see the output. But I've also very few times seen an instance where you can set a camera right in front of someone, and there's a psychological aspect to it. It's the person cannot psychologically avoid the fact that they're being observed. Every movement they make, every statement they say is scrutinized because it's all on camera. So it would be interesting to me if at any point during this interrogation, if he looks directly at the camera.
You know, that's a question I have. The camera could be concealed even, but it doesn't appear that way. It'd be weird, right, if he's sitting in front of a tripod? I'll go back again. It's like an interrogation video, proof of life. Or hostage video, proof of life. All right, let's see how this goes.
I had to talk to everybody.
Yeah.
And she wouldn't like that. So then we'd argue about that. And then one time I just didn't ask her to come back. And she came back like 4 days later with her mom, and they cleared out like all of her stuff up from the house.
So that was how far after your arrest for the domestic violence thing was that? Like a week or two, or
no? That was in January. What made her go file in February? Who knows?
Okay, but so she actually moved out when, in February, or even later than that?
She didn't permanently actually move out of that house until about April.
Okay.
But what kicked off the incident in January was she moved out.
Okay.
She moved out, took all her shit, came back, moved out again. I told her that time, just stay gone this time because I don't want you ruining my shit. You're ruining everything in my life. Please stay away. Came back like a week later with the police.
Right. So you guys weren't married long at all?
2 months.
So it's kind of
2 months, and then we made it until March. I called her the night. I know I wasn't supposed to. Don't care. Called her the night I got out of jail, and she sat there and cried on the phone. And she was like, "I didn't know that you were gonna go to jail." And I told her it's okay. You know, I forgive you. I'm a very forgiving guy. I don't give a shit. I can get over this. You know, I know who she was. She had the shortest fuse on the plane. It wasn't even a fuse. It was one of those things you just pull it. It just explodes. That was her personality. That's the personality. That's the person I knew. And I told her it's okay. That's fine. I'll take you back. I don't care. Let's just move on. And that lasted about 2 more months, probably till about the end of April into June, or I guess that would have been May. Yeah, like end of April into May, and she was like, that's when people started coming around the house. Like the Fountain Inn Police Department was like coming around the house looking for her, and I got nervous because I have a restraining order. So
right.
And I don't got family down here. She could leave. She could go to her mom's or her dad's and have some. I don't have anywhere to go, so I was sleeping in my car. Because I got a no contact
There it
order
is.
with her
He's
at work.
starting to look at the camera a little bit
So
more.
I can get in trouble 2 different ways.
Oh, wow.
The military can put me on Fort Jackson. They can put me in jail in Fort Jackson for 30 days for breaking a no contact, and then I got an actual restraining order with the state.
Is he, or is he just diverting his attention from the interrogator?
So I noticed it as soon as he said, "I'm a very forgiving person." If that camera is concealed, he's either looking right at it or right above it. And he's done it about 2 times since then when he's trying to make a statement about his own character.
I'm still not convinced he can see the camera, and I can't get in my mind how this interrogation room is set up, but I'm still not convinced. I think that you might be able to see the opposite. If we've got a camera sitting on a tripod 4 feet from this guy's knees and he's sitting against a white background in a chair, I think that he would look at the camera more often, actually. I think he would glance at it, or the tripod or some piece of the equipment. So I'm not sure.
Yeah, you make a good point. That's why I've been wondering, and he hadn't done it until he made that comment about how good of a guy or how forgiving of a guy he is.
And this could be just diverting your eyes left or right of the subject that you're talking to. I think that's also a tick, maybe a tell for some people.
Yeah, and it's if there's a reflective surface in front of him, he's checking out his own credibility at that point. If it's the camera, he's pandering to the camera. If it's just a flat wall and he can't tell, if there's not a reflection, which would be very odd in this situation, maybe. But his gaze hits the same spot over and over again. So either he can see himself or he can see some feature on a camera.
Tell you what, you feds are just super detailed. Now I'm watching. I hadn't paid attention to this at all. I did wonder how the setup was in the room, but I didn't think about all these things that you just brought to my attention. So now let's watch it and see.
So I told her, I was like, you gotta go. Like, we can talk and we'll keep that on the low, but you gotta go now because they were coming to the house. Army investigators are coming to the house looking for her. Fountain Police Department. So I was like, the one time they see you, they're gonna be like, hey, we got another conviction, grab his ass. And I don't want to go through that because I've already been in that situation. And I don't feel safe in that situation. So she left in like April or May.
How was your guys' contact after that? I mean, did you?
We talked on and off. At first it was real heavy because we were still like, we're in a relationship, we're just not with each other. It wasn't until probably about June that it went to more once a week, and then once every other week. And then we just fought like once or twice and then just completely broke contact. The only time I would hear from her after that is when she needed something, or when I assumed that she was like drinking or something, because she would text me random I love yous and stuff like that.
Was she ever like drive by your house or anything?
Yeah. And
just to see what you're doing? Or?
I saw her a couple times, just her car, and that could have been for a couple reasons. I mean, she could have been seeing somebody else in the neighborhood. I don't know. But I saw her car a couple times, and then I heard stories that she was like coming up to the door for my roommate and stuff. Come to like, my roommate got a cat. She wanted to come see the cat. She wanted to come see my dog, so she tried to get my roommate to take my dog out of the house to go see.
Is this Crystal?
Yeah.
Okay.
So just hearing, she never came and bothered me. She never did that. She wouldn't like come and like, you know, if I was there and like bang on my doors and shit. But she was still coming by the house. And I don't know why. But we broke contact because she was dating already. Like, she's already been dating dudes. So I'm like, just move on. Like, leave me alone.
Right.
But I still get random texts, you know, in the morning. I look good today. I love you. Shit like that.
Now, he's brought this up several times, that she was dating already. She was just dating. She was dating, and she was very active in dating. He's made that very clear. One, this could be true. I'm sure that interrogators have an idea on this aspect of it. The other, it could be a way that there should be other people you're looking at, even though I might be the estranged husband with the pending felony assault on the victim, but there are other people that could have done this.
Yeah, I don't agree. I don't disagree with you, Joe. One of the other things that jumped out to me was when someone, when it creeps through their subconscious that they keep mentioning a thing, you will pick up that that's actually something that bothers them a lot. To where, so I didn't actually look at it the way you were initially, where it's like, hey, trying to throw the investigators onto someone else. But when I heard that, I was like, yeah, this is a point of pain for this guy, and he's kind of showing his hand a little bit.
Lucian, do you have an opinion on that?
Well, he's getting more agitated. I don't know if you can tell, but okay, if you go back to when he was reading off the paper in his Miranda rights, you could see he was chest breathing, and he was maybe not necessarily looking directly at what was in the page, but he was inside his own head, and so he had an anxiety response. When he was answering questions that were a lot easier and it didn't necessarily seem that relevant, he went back to belly breathing. But now his gestures are more animated. His shoulders are getting involved in some of his gestures, and he looks like he's breathing higher in his chest, which is another example of anxiety. So I think he's starting to feel a little something, but he's not sure if he should worry yet.
I think that he knew this was coming. He knew that he was going to have to sit down and have this conversation. And I think there's portions that he expected. And I think when you see the anxiousness, or when the interrogators get him out of what he thought they might be asking, or they ask too much detail about something he thought they would just smooth over. But I agree with you. He goes from anxious to back in a better plane, but pay attention to the questioning on when that is. When he's relaxed. These are standard things that you would ask, that he would expect you to ask. But I think that when interrogators dig into, like, you know, how many times you come over to look for the dog bowl, you know, well, shit, I don't know why you're asking me that. But I think he gets nervous because he doesn't understand why they're being asked that question, which is it's a good sign to catch these tails for the interrogators. All right, let's get back to it.
Was she trying to get back with you? Or
I couldn't really give you a good answer on that. My intention was to get back together with her.
Still? Really?
Yeah, at the end of this. Whenever my civil court was done, that's the last thing I told her, was that when this shit's all done and over with, I just want you to be there for me in that courtroom, and I will walk away from that courtroom with you.
When you say it's civil court, you talk about
the charge from
your criminal case?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what was going on with the military? Were they waiting to see what happened with that?
Yeah.
So that's why they had you over on Burgery Street,
right,
doing administrative stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then once that case got cleared, if it got cleared, then you'd be reassigned, or
if it was like dismissed, cleared, yeah, they would have just sent me on the way.
Mm-hmm.
If something came of it, then they would have continued their investigation, see what they wanted to do about it.
Okay.
Probably just kick me out, more likely.
Is that? I mean, I've never been in the military, so I don't know how it works. But if you get charged with something serious enough, they just discharge you.
Most of the time, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, especially if it's a guilty verdict, they'll just dishonorably discharge you.
Okay.
So, and that's like the worst thing that could happen. It's like walking out the door with 2 felonies instead of 1.
And I'm sure it's a lot of pride issue too, right?
Yeah. I mean, 10 years of my life and 2 years in Iraq.
Yeah.
Walk out the door, but I mean.
Did somebody predict that they would play to his honor as a U.S. Army soldier? Did we hear that earlier?
Indeed. Honor up is anyone who's ever served in any organization where you have to take an oath, abide by a high standard of conduct and like good order and discipline. It is a tried and true tactic.
I'm just going to give you credit. You called it, and they're absolutely bringing that out of the playbook and playing it. Let's see how it works.
And I told her, I said, it's already done. They can do what they want. But the last thing I told her was when there's a disposition, if it's not guilty and I get to walk out of that courtroom, I want to walk out with you. And she said that was fine. She said that's good. That's what I want too. And that was like 2 months ago.
So what was the status of the case? How close was it coming to go to court, or
my lawyer got the solicitor to allow me to apply for PTI for the whole charge. So I got denied from that. I got denied from PTI. So now I'm just waiting. I haven't heard anything. I guess my thing went to the bottom of the pile again to recycle back to the top.
Right, yeah. It's a slow.
And it took from March to June to get, okay, let's apply for PTI.
Yeah.
And then, oh, by the way, we rejected you.
Is that a public defender or paid?
No, I was a paid lawyer. Yeah. Didn't want to take no chances with a felony charge.
Yeah, I understand that. All right. Moving forward, so she moves out. You move Crystal and Brandon in to help out with bills or whatever?
Mm-hmm. It was pretty soon after they actually moved in, yeah.
Okay. Any other roommates?
Hannah was living there for a little bit.
Hannah?
Yeah. While Katie was there, Hannah was going through some shit at home, so she asked Katie if she could move in. She said, yeah, we moved all her shit in. Wayne was still there, and then Wayne then Katie left before Wayne got in his car accident. So she left, and then Wayne left, and then Crystal moved in, and then Hannah moved out. And now it's just us and Crystal.
Okay. How did you guys meet Hannah? Was it a friend of Katie's or yours?
Friend of Cheyenne.
Okay. Yeah. And you and Cheyenne are pretty tight, right?
Well, you used to be.
Oh, you're not now? Mm-hmm. Because of this crowd?
Because of this, yeah. Okay. I haven't heard from Cheyenne. I tried to talk to Cheyenne on Tuesday. Tuesday was the last time I talked to Cheyenne, and then she just dropped me
a whole lot more.
Planet, so kind of shows who your real friends are.
Yeah.
When you ask somebody specifically for help because you are not in a good place and they blow you off completely, but they're out there having fun with friends.
Yeah.
She's not grieving right now. She's out partying right now. So you could at least text. She could at least text me back.
Yeah, I don't have an answer for that.
And then I already had to avoid the viewing. I had to go on Sunday by myself because her whole family was there. And if I can't even get Cheyenne, who lived with me and who I bought cars for and school books for and sent to and pushed to get a job and shit, if I can't trust her to be calm and level-headed, then how am I going to go to this viewing with her crazy-ass family there?
Right. So the viewing was Saturday, right?
Right. 2 to 4 on Saturday.
When did you get?
I went Sunday, 2:30 on Sunday.
Okay. So they just had a private thing for you?
Mm-hmm.
Did you go by yourself? Or?
Yeah. Well, I took Hannah with me.
Did you? Okay.
Yeah.
How was that hard?
Yeah, because I mean, first of all, there's nobody there but me and her, so we're just kind of standing there staring at like Katie's nasty, like dirty, disgusting body because they didn't even wipe her ass down. And then we're just standing there, like I don't know what to say. I've been to a couple. I went to my own dad's viewing when I was like 15. I've seen people dead. I've dealt with this shit before, and now there's nobody else there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's kind
There's
of
nobody else there because
situation.
her family wants to be crazy about this shit. So I'm there by myself. I'm dealing with it by myself. I'm dragging her around because she's willing to be dragged around. To be there, you know? So, I don't know. It's just been really stressful.
Yeah, I can imagine that. You've been able to go to work for the majority of it, I guess, or?
Well, yeah, I've been going. I told him I don't want any time off because I don't do any work anyway. do admin shit anyway. So, and
plus, you'll just sit there and go crazy probably.
Right, I don't want to just sit at home, stare at the walls. I don't have family here. Crystal works until 3. Brandon works until like 2:33. So I don't want to just be alone.
Yeah, does Hannah work or where does she do?
She works in the mall. JCPenney's in the mall.
Now, does she live with you full time, or is it kind of?
It's on and off. She stays when she wants.
Okay. She live with her parents otherwise?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. So let's go to last Monday. You're working downtown.
Right.
What time roughly did you leave work?
I don't.
I'm not going to hold you to the exact minute because I know if you ask me what I did last Monday.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't normally just leave with Judy. So whenever it's always between 2 and 3. Whenever Judy leaves, that's when I'm out the door too. Okay. They really only got me there for her to keep her company.
Right.
Yeah.
So what'd you do when you left work?
I just went home, and then I got home, and recently I've been like running the trail behind the house because I hate wearing running shoes, and it gets my dog outside. So I take him out back, and we run trails. So that day I went out, ran trails, and I went and sat by with this little spot and like watched fish fucking swim.
So there's a creek back there?
Yeah, same. I've been doing it a lot recently just because I quit drinking a few months ago, and it's really like helped me find out the kind of shit I like in life. So I just go back there and kind of hang out outside.
So your dog is Marley?
Mm-hmm.
Which is a mix? Or?
It's a yellow lab.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Good dogs.
Good family dog.
Was anybody home when you got home?
Just Crystal and Brandon. Okay. And I had heard she was supposed to go to the Sullivan Center that morning, so she was already with me because she's up there trying to get her GED.
Oh, Hannah was with you?
Yeah, she's the one who drove me home.
From work?
Yeah, because she was supposed to go to the Sullivan Center, and then we forgot because it was getting late anyway.
Joe, you might pause it for just 1 second.
What car did you drive home?
My Prius.
Okay, so you went to work in the morning, and she dropped you off and took the Prius, or?
No, she was with. I don't know what the hell she does, but most times she's either walks around downtown or she sits in the car.
All right.
Yeah, whenever she needs to go up there, she just rides. And then she was supposed to go to the Sullivan Center. Didn't, I guess, and then.
Okay. So you guys got home around 3 roughly.
Yeah.
Brandon and
Crystal
were there. And what did Hannah do while you were running with Marley?
Whatever she does, watch TV, play video games.
Okay. What happened after that? After you're done running?
We went and met my friend Scott to get some money that he owes me.
What's he owe you?
He owed me $500 for when he crashed my car. The $500 was the deductible, so he's gonna pay me back the deductible. He owes me $350 now. So.
When did that happen?
2 months ago.
Okay.
2 months.
Where'd y'all meet with Scott at?
At the Zaxby's on Fairview.
Okay. What kind of car does he drive?
Like a small hatchback, like a silver hatchback. I don't know the make or the model, but it's kind of smaller than like a Subaru.
Yeah.
Shit's even smaller than the Prius. It's a little hatchback.
Okay. Where's he from?
Baltimore originally, and then he moved down here because he was hard on his luck.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to give him a second chance.
Where's he staying
real fast?
I don't know the address. He's staying with some old lady.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so I mean, I've said this in other shows before, but I think it's worth restating. And at the risk of sounding repetitive, your physiology will always betray you unless you're in such extreme control of it, it seems unnatural. You notice from the very beginning until now, he is extremely fidgety. He's itching a lot. He went through this kind of spat where he was itching his ear. He keeps itching his right arm. It's now expanding a bit. Even his motor functions getting lazy. You'll notice that he kind of just like swinging his arms, like slapping his hands down when he's responding to something. These are all things that if I were in that Gator seat, I would know that, as Joe says, he's starting to feel the pressure in his head. Like he's getting uncomfortable. Even though the questions aren't really that pointed and putting him in a corner, I think he can sense that trouble's on its way.
I don't disagree with you. I think he's got dry skin, though. I think you're reading into it too much. He just has dry skin, wasn't able to moisturize prior to the interrogation, and he's just a little itchy. But I know I 100% agree. But once again, on the law enforcement side, for you intel guys, yes, this can be very telling and give you information to make whatever decisions that you're looking to make. But I'll say on the law enforcement side, I really can't do much with that other than I know that I'm pushing some buttons. And I'll go back again. That going back to the death notification, he was very quick to understand, and we probably all understand, or at least would assume that he is sophisticated enough to know that he can end this at any time. So I think that these cues would be used by the interrogator to maybe back off a little bit and ride the clutch, so to speak, to prevent this guy from bailing out too early.
Yeah, I agree with you, and similar on the intel side. So someone's physiological tells aren't an admission of guilt. We would use them, and I won't speak for Lucian, but I would use them to help me understand uh, their discomfort zone. So even if I were to back off that, and we give the subject time to cook, when I go talk to the team, it's like, yeah, we need to re-engage on that subject because they got real uncomfortable. When they were talking about their family back home, they were fine, no fidgeting, no abnormal speech patterns. But when we got over the X, they got real fidgety. So let's revisit that.
No, absolutely. It's tender. You don't know what the wound is yet, but you know that spot's tender. But I think that going back to what I said originally, especially with this guy, you don't want to poke that too soon. Lucian, what do you say about it all?
Yeah, I'm going to take a little bit different direction. I'm listening to the story at this point and putting some pieces together. So he's got a smaller car. He expressed basically how unpleasant it was for him to have to stand there and see his ex-wife's body. They didn't clean her up. He described her in derogatory terms. It was, not something that you would expect from someone who had any actual concern or empathy. But then, you start to figure out what his motive is. What's his black swan? And you look at the girlfriend. She's 17. We know now that she was trying to get her GED, so she's dropped out of school. The fact that somehow his buddy crashed his car and owes him money, but the buddy has his own car. There's a handful of things going on here that would give you some indicators of what his motive would have been if you think he's guilty of this act. Basically, in my opinion, it kind of sounds like he didn't need to be bothered anymore. If he committed this act, it was because his ex-wife just was in his way.
I can see that. I think it's another tell that these interrogators aren't digging into the 17-year-old girlfriend, at this point at least. Good insights. You know what, folks, while we're here, let's talk about the Range Minded podcast. Those of you that follow us, you know that we're big supporters of the Range Minded podcast. Range puts on a great podcast each week. He's always dealing with, first, freedom-loving to a Second Amendment lovers and just individual freedom kind of guys. He puts out a lot of good stuff. He follows local or recent legislation, lawsuits that may be making their way to the Supreme Court. And he also does a lot of good stuff with Guncraft. But get a chance to catch him on any place that a podcast are available, give him a subscribe or a follow. Support the man.
Have you ever wondered to yourself, man, what time does the store close? Or where's the best cheeseburger near me? Well, I'm not going to answer those questions. That's what your damn phone is for. Use that. Instead, if you have stuff related, to the 2A world, I'm your man. My name's Steve. I run the Range Minded Podcast. On the podcast, we talk about all things Second Amendment, whether it be new guns or gear. Maybe we talk about some training. We'll dig into Washington and the shenanigans they get up to. Sometimes we talk about the Supreme Court and the crap that they're doing. It's always a good time, a little smorgasbord of the 2A, if you don't mind me using that narrative. Either way, you can find us whether on YouTube or Rumble, Range Minded Podcast. I'm also on all sorts of streaming services, wherever you listen to your podcast, Range Minded Podcast. You can jump on the website, rangemindedpodcast.com. Maybe stop by, buy a patch and some other things. There you can link to the social medias and all that other stuff. Hope to see you there. It's always a good time. Anyways, you guys have fun, stay safe, and always stay range-minded. See you guys soon.
Yeah, folks, Range Minded Podcast, rangemindedpodcast.com. Go there and let them know you saw it here on Interrogation, and subscribe. Didn't cost anything. Let's video run out here, folks. We're going to be running close on time, I think.
Like in Greenville or Fountain?
Yeah, Greenville.
Does he work?
Mm-hmm.
But he was in the Army with you?
Yeah. Yeah,
we got deployed together?
We deployed together.
So he did the same kind of stuff you did?
Yeah. And then he came home and got out. Well, they put him out because he started a habit with some prescription pills.
Mm-hmm.
So they put him out for that. And they kind of followed him since then.
Okay. So it was you and Hannah that went and met him?
Yeah.
What time was that, roughly?
I don't know. It was later. It was dark.
So dark's about 7-ish.
Yeah.
Roughly. Oh. Did you go anywhere before that?
No.
Okay. So did you meet him and eat dinner, or did you just hang out?
I ate. We ate while we waited for him. And then he showed up, dropped me some cash, and he left.
Okay. What's the payment plan? Or
Hey, yeah, he could have psoriasis. That could be the explanation for his elbows itching now.
So the reason I keyed in on that is, if you remember the initial death notification, skin conditions don't change depending on the clothing that you're wearing. So when he was in his ACUs, the Army Combat Uniform, there was no itching there. Like, I don't remember any fidgeting, but now that he's in an uncomfortable situation, it didn't even start like this. So even at the very beginning of this session, when they were asking him questions, he wasn't doing it. It progressed. And I think, Lucian actually pointed this out about his breathing. There were several instances not too long ago where it was, I believe it was involuntary, where he forced himself to take a deeper breath, because I think that the stress is building up and he can no longer hide it.
So I guess you didn't pick up on my psoriasis sarcasm.
I did.
Gotta believe this guy's itching because that seat's getting hot. That's why he's itching. 100%.
As he can get it, yeah. I didn't ever expect to hear from him again. After he crashed my car, I stopped talking to him. I left his ass in Greer on the side of the road. Goodbye. Crashed my car, dude. You stole my car, and then you crashed it, so I'm not talking to him. And that was I think it was a month or two ago. And then he just started calling me last week, and he's like, I'm in Greenville, I got money. I was like, okay, cool. Let me go get some money.
So you guys were in the Prius?
Yeah.
That night? Okay. So he's just saying that he's staying with some old lady somewhere around?
Yeah, in Greenville. I just know it's in Greenville. I know he's local because I've seen him 2 or 3 more times.
Okay. That night, somebody says you and Hannah were putting some trash from a bag, like a trash bag in the back of the Prius.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember doing that?
Oh, yeah.
What was that about?
Marley had the most explosive shit on the floor and stunk up the whole house. I had to throw out 4 towels. It was disgusting. And then Crystal left it for me to clean up. So, because it was watery, nasty, I had to get 3 or 4 towels to clean it up, plus the Swiffer, plus dump bleach on the floor. So, yeah, it was pretty nasty.
Okay. So why'd you put it in the car?
To take it
Oh, okay,
to
okay.
throw. Yeah, our trash is always filled up. We used to have this entertainment center. I just chopped it up, so it was like the trash can was full.
So you took that when you went to go to Zaxby's? Or?
Yeah, we were just gonna throw it out away.
Okay.
Just that dumpster.
All right. Do you have your phone with you that night?
Probably, yeah. Let's see why not.
I mean, you normally do.
Yeah, I normally do. I normally have my phone. Unless I'm going out with Martha, I have my phone.
All right.
Or I'm going hiking or something like that, I take my phone. Or leaving the car at least.
Do you ever turn your phone off during the day or at nighttime?
Only if it dies. Only if it dies out.
Do you have a charger at work for it? Or?
Sometimes. I carry one in my pocket. Sometimes I'll take it out when I go home and wash clothes or whatever.
You stay on a good bit during the day just to keep busy, though.
All day.
Facebook and
yeah.
Playing games.
Facebook games, other websites, yeah.
They help pass the time, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Now, a couple of questions. When we notified you that Wednesday morning, at work, myself and the bigger black fellow from the coroner's office, you never asked us, what had happened to Katie or how she died. Is there any reason where you?
Yeah, I've explained this to a few people because like 20 people asked me that day what happened.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like there's nothing that could bring me.
So you didn't really want to know?
Yeah, there's nothing that information would bring me in the moment. Like I said, I've experienced death. And,
in the military?
Yeah, and that's never really done shit for me to know. A good friend of mine, a lieutenant, was stabbed after he got out in the military. He was overseas in the Middle East for school. He was stabbed to death. Him and his wife were stabbed to death. That brought me no comfort finding that out. Knowing he was dead, I just had a friend recently, and I still don't know, and I still don't want to know. It doesn't matter, because that's the end state.
It is what it is.
It is what it is. They're already dead. How they died means nothing to me.
Okay.
So, and that's how I've been.
I've probably seen people, being in the military, seeing people die, probably gives you that outlook. So,
yeah.
When was the last time you saw Katie face to face? And
I know.
And I'm not worried about this restraining order thing. Trust me, that's at least our worries.
The last time I saw her was Cheyenne had a doctor's appointment, and Katie was there with her at the doctor.
Okay.
And I just coincidentally had a doctor's appointment at the same exact office. I just switched over to a new doctor, and they were leaving as I was checking out.
So when was that roughly?
2 or 3 months ago. I don't know. We could get an exact date.
Okay.
But yeah, that's the last time I saw her face to face. And I don't think she saw me until she was actually out the door. So we didn't talk or nothing.
Now she'd been asking you for this paperwork for Jupiter, medical records or bills or something, or
medical records.
Okay. And what else? A bowl or a leash or something?
A dog food bowl.
Dog food bowl. Had she called you one previous time and asked you to meet her, bring it?
She called me multiple times, asked me to bring her that stuff.
You said no.
Yeah. First of all, Marley uses that bowl, and he needs that bowl. And it's dog medical records. It's dog medical records. You could probably walk up there to
yeah, it's not like
Hillcrest.
Rules.
There's no rules and regulations for dog medical records. So if you want, I feel like she was just using it as an opportunity to see me.
To get you to come see her.
And it wouldn't have been the first time.
Right.
There's been so many emergencies that come up. I need to see you right now for this. Just to get there and be like, you want to smoke a cigarette?
Yeah, that's
don't.
It's typical.
So it wasn't the first time.
Okay. So you went to the viewing Saturday, right?
Sunday.
Sunday, okay. And it was you and Hannah that went there?
Yeah.
Okay. Now this Scott guy, how often does he come in? He lived with you for a little while?
Well, yeah, he lived with me for a little bit, and then he crashed my car, and he kind of just left town. I think he went back to Baltimore for a little bit. I think he went down to Georgia for a little bit. So.
When was the last time you actually saw him?
Not yesterday, but the day prior, maybe.
So that would have been
this week.
Okay, where'd you see him at?
We met at Smoke and Brew on Pleasantburg Drive.
Yeah.
Because he has some money and he stays up that way, I guess.
Okay, so he gave you a little bit more money?
Mm-hmm. So he gave me like $40.
So he's slowly paying off.
Slowly. He's down to $350. We agreed on.
And he was driving the same car?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you ever meet him anywhere else in this past week?
He's been to my house. He's been to my house. He's been smoking brews. Actually, I don't think so. He wanted to go to the bar like twice. I'm not a bar person. I'm not going to bar. I don't drink.
Yeah.
So.
How'd you kick it? Just cold?
Yeah, I just had to.
It's good.
Just had to.
Have you ever transferred money to him, or he transferred money to you, or is it just hand to hand?
Western Union a couple of times. I've sent him over the years probably like $400 or $500.
Just when he's down on his luck.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then he sent me. I mean, he paid me back like twice out of that, like $100 here, $100 there. So, but that hasn't even been recent. That's been, I mean, within the year, but outside of 6 months.
It's kind of like you don't expect it back. If you get it back, good. If not, then.
No, I always say, you know, if you don't expect to, if you need it back, then don't lend it out. Because especially with this guy.
Does he still have a dope problem? Or?
He says no, but the last time I talked to him, he was acting the same exact way.
Really?
You know how they forget the simplest of details that really can't even be overlooked. Like he asked me yesterday on the phone, do I owe you $450 or $350? Now you know that's a lot of money, and you just gave me money yesterday. So how did you know? That's one of the little telltale signs that I think he is using again, because that's why I won't let him around my house again.
Is he divorced or?
He's legally married.
Okay.
I think they're pretty much set on their separation because she's not here. She's in Baltimore.
Okay. We've heard a little bit about this abandoned house, that it was a hangout for a lot of these younger kids and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
You've been there before?
Yeah.
Okay. When was the last time you were there?
Probably a few months ago.
Okay. And who you were there with at the time?
I don't know. It's normally like a group of people, so it's always going to be the same group. I just don't know who was in the group at that time.
So generally, name some of the people that would be there, not particularly at that time, but just.
Cheyenne would be there. Allie would be there. Hannah would be there. I would be there. Wayne would be there. Maybe Cameron. Maybe Kimani. That's it from our little group that I can think of.
Where would you guys park when you hung out there?
That gravel. When we first started going, like back January, like last January, when they first showed it to me, that brush used to be cleared out so you could drive right up in there.
Okay.
And then nobody would be able to see your car, so you wouldn't have to worry about people messing with you.
Yeah. Where would you guys hang out? In the house, outside the house?
Like in the living room.
I'm just gonna hang out.
Been in the attic a couple of times. Because there's like a crawl space hole. I guess not crawl space, but like a hole. One of the closets you can climb up in the attic and hang out there. That's kind of stable. Mostly in the living room because the rest of the house seems like at any moment it's gonna collapse.
Yeah. You ever been down the stairs in the basement?
No.
Okay.
That kind of because the one side's all flooded out, and then you can only climb down, and then the other stairs is like missing, like the last step, and it's all like, oh,
sketchy.
You can feel it. I don't know if you've gone down there, but you can feel it like every step, like wobbling back and forth.
So
like you don't know how you're gonna get back up.
So you never decide to get out there and check it out?
No, hell no.
Okay.
Because you don't ever know how you're gonna get back up.
I don't blame you for that. Let me ask, and some of these questions, I'm not looking to offend you, but it's questions that we need to get answered and cleared up.
Okay.
Did Katie have any kind of life insurance policy?
Through the military, yeah. She's automatically enrolled.
Okay.
Same as my daughter.
So what is the military's thing called? Or is it?
FSGLI, Family Service Group Life Insurance.
Is that something you get for free, or you got to pay for it?
I pay monthly $5.
Okay.
But like I said, once you're enrolled in it's called DEERS, the Defense Enrollment Eligibility Services. Once you're enrolled in that, you're automatically enrolled in life insurance. So her health insurance, her life insurance, her dental, it's all wrapped up in one.
She was still covered under your medical and all that?
Legally, because we're married.
Okay, so until you get
we get divorced, actually divorced. Yeah.
Well, that's a pretty good deal for her.
Yeah, because she was still under my health insurance.
How much was her life insurance policy? Do you know?
It's $5 for $100,000.
Okay.
And then it's $5 for 10,000 for kids.
Okay. So that was like 100,000 is the base? Or?
Yeah, that's the base. Doesn't go higher or lower, as far as I know.
All right. Did she have one on you, or did you have one for her?
I had the automatic one on her. I don't know what she is. I can't imagine what she had one on me.
So yeah.
Well, I
don't know if she
automatically have one
through the military.
Yeah,
Okay.
mine's 500,000,
right.
and she gets that big just because she's married to me.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I paid $21 for that, and that's like automatic. If I ever have somebody, even if I'm not married, it's still covered. I still have to put somebody's name down. Like it's
so you put mom or dad,
right? Yeah. Now it's under my ex-wife and my daughter in case I die.
Take care of your daughter. Yeah,
it's good.
Okay. Who was it under before?
It's always been my ex-wife and my daughter.
Just
because
so you make sure she take care of it.
Yeah, you know, that's one person I know for sure that I have to take care of. It's my daughter.
Yeah, that's respectable. I'm a dad.
Okay, we've noticed a tempo change. They're slowly turning the heat up. You guys agree?
Yeah, getting to. I thought it was interesting that they were pointing at this other guy for a while and trying to see where I guess his emotions were going on that. But the questions are definitely getting more much more pointed right now, and you can see the pacing is getting quicker. The responses are interesting though.
No, and I think that, and I'll go back, and I know I've said it several times. I'll say it again. I think as an interrogator on this, or an investigator conducting this interview, I don't know that I would call it a not a success if he doesn't confess, but I will call it a success if he gives me enough rocks that I can go out and verify, confirm, or deny a story. But if I can also lay in some groundwork for motive, I think that's what we just saw with the insurance. In his own words, that he was aware that there was insurance on his estranged wife.
Dad, she's a mom, so we understand that.
Yeah, I explained that to Katie when we got married. I'm sorry, bud, but
so Katie knew. Did Katie know about the policy on her?
Yeah.
Okay.
I imagine.
Yeah, I don't know.
She might not even, because of her time in the military, when she was in the reserves or whatever, they might have taken her off my policy. Because if you're dual military, then one of those people doesn't have an automatic policy.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So since we were dual military, I don't even think that she was enrolled anymore. Because, yeah.
But she wasn't current military now, right?
No. She didn't make it through training.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she made it like 4 or 5 weeks. She got injured. She like fell over in the obstacle course and it jacked her lower back all up. She had like something with like her lower back. It was like at an angle that was like bad.
Okay. So
they medically discharged her.
So that was a pretty quick career.
Mm-hmm. Pre-existing condition dumped her out.
So has the insurance? So no insurance companies have contacted you to let you know about any kind of policy? I know a lot of times they'll do it pretty quick. Okay. Have you ever, and it would probably jokingly, I would assume, made a statement to any of your friends about wanting to kill Katie?
No.
Ever said, well, if Katie dies, we'll get some money or we'll have money to do anything with?
No.
Okay. Have you ever gone up to any friends and said, hey, would you do me a favor and take my car, take my keys, my debit card, my phone, and go away for the weekend to Charleston, say, and that'll make it look like I'm out of town so I can kill Katie?
No.
Okay. So if somebody told us that, they're making that up?
I believe so, yeah.
Okay.
That's the same that's been coming out of her family's mouth for the last 2 weeks. And I'm getting kind of sick of it because I don't feel safe in my house anymore. There's cars parked out front of my house during the nighttime. And I know I got PTSD and I know I'm watching them, but there's cars parked out front of my house. There's people driving by. And that's the type of shit, that's the narrative right there that's going to get me in trouble with some crazy driving down and shooting up my house in the middle of the night. Or somebody called my ex-wife yesterday. Somebody called my ex-wife yesterday. And that's got me scared.
What's her name?
You talked to her yesterday. But
Catherine?
Yeah, that's got me scared because my kid's there. And how did somebody get her number from here? How does somebody get her number from here? And then not just from here, not just from Simpsonville, but from some private number called her, called her, so they can find my kid now. And that's the shit that's got me pissed off. Because I can't sleep at night because I think something's going to happen to my house. That's all I got. So people say, oh, it's just stuff. Well, if my house burns down, what stuff do I have? I get a check from the insurance company for $100 grand to pay off the house, but I'm still sitting homeless.
Yeah.
So
this pressure is coming from Katie's family?
Yeah, it was on Facebook. We got pictures, we got screenshots. This shit was on Facebook. People were giving out my address. People came walk to my house the other night. People walked to my house the other night. Or standing out front of my house.
Do you recognize them or no?
No, they were from Facebook. Okay. Crystal got in this argument with this guy on Facebook, and he's like, I know where you live. I can come there right now. What the f? Come here right now. Because that makes me unsafe. I got to barricade my front door because now you're telling people to come by my house, and her mom's been telling people to come by my house. They're trying to spin this story against me, and it's got me terrified. It's got me scared as shit.
Do you have any idea?
All right, real quick, because we are short on time. There's something we don't always see. What we do see a lot of times, folks sitting in the hot seat will try to mitigate or play the victim. And we've seen sometimes where interrogators will allow that and go down that road a little while to, I think, maybe to pacify or to see where it goes. But I think in this case, I think these interrogators have to stop this. They have to stop him. I'm the victim on this. There's so many indicators out there that even this guy sitting in the chair is smart enough to know that he's absolutely someone police should be talking to. So I think that they should nix this and not go down the road of you're a victim or you're being victimized or any other path that may take. But let's go to Lucian, you first. But what do you think, both of you?
Well, it depends on what you want out of this. I'm looking at the response here, and he kind of volunteered that he was a victim, and it seemed like it was a deflection. I couldn't catch all the graphics that were going by about the location, so we'll just ignore that for the moment. But if you want him to behave in a certain way, you can either feed into this and let him keep going, or recognize that he volunteered this and he's getting very, very animated, trying to convince the interviewer exactly, this is so horrible about me. These are terrible things that are happening to me. And he's making a lot of assumptions. But if you nix it right now, you may give him an opportunity to cool off enough to cover himself. Personally, I would let this bubble just a little bit longer.
Yeah, I agree. So one of the things that I noticed is right after they confronted him with, and what popped up on the screen was cell phone tracking data. I would probably bet they either got that from the service provider or what's called ad tech, where you can track. But as soon as they confronted him with those questions about, have you ever said this to your friends or made jokes about this stuff, he pivoted into this anger. My thought process is let him off gas. He's now emoting because he's frustrated with that line of questionings, and this is where I agree with Lucian, where it's like, give him this opportunity to get this off a little bit, not too long, and then bring him back down and start, re-engage with your line of questioning.
I'm going to disagree with both of you. I think that as the interrogator in this particular setting, is that you need to mitigate this. Well, let's go back to what he's told us this far. He had a great Army career until he was forced to be a recruiter, because do that or get out. Didn't like being a recruiter. The job sucked. Got out of a marriage into another one. That woman turned his life upside down. That sucked. Everything sucks about life. Now he's sitting in a job that he can't do because of this charge that some woman just made a statement on it. And now he's having to deal with the consequences of it. So everything turns back to him being the whipping boy or the victim in the type of situation. I say you don't let him go down that road too far. You could drive him to a point of frustration that when you come back to try to get the screws back on him, he says, "I screw this. I want an attorney." So I say that you keep him out of this off this trail that he's going down, that I'm a victim. But I didn't edit this one that close to be able to tell you exactly what they do next. But let's see.
Who killed her?
No, absolutely not. This shit is ridiculous and it's scary as. But I can't even be scared for Katie right now. Because I know Katie wouldn't want me in this situation. She knows I'm scared as hell.
Are you talking about your ex-wife, Katie?
I'm talking about Katie. Katie.
The one that died?
Yeah. She knows that I'll be like this, be paranoid like this.
All right. Some people told us that recently they got in the backseat of your car and something had been spilled, and they were told, hey, don't touch that.
And I told Cheyenne, I just spilled iced tea right there. Don't sit in that. The iced tea bottle is probably still in the back of my car right now.
Okay. That was in the backseat?
Yeah.
How'd you spill it in the backseat?
I just drink it and toss it.
Okay.
I ain't the cleanliest person. I clean out my car once a week, twice a week, the most.
Okay.
Trash all over my inside my car right now.
Okay.
And her family's the ones putting that shit in her head because she was at my house on Tuesday. Just fine. Helping. We were both just fine, just talking to each other. Dirtbag ass family.
Well, you gotta understand right now they're going through a lot too.
I'm trying to understand, but I'm going through the same shit. I lost a friend. Maybe not the best wife, but I lost a friend.
Mm-hmm.
She would always been my friend. We would have always been the worst married couple on the planet, but she was always going to be my friend.
Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes people make great friends but terrible lovers or whatever.
Right. That's the way we've seen it. We just the worst couple, but we were always the best friends. It's not until you started bringing the relationship back into it that we start arguing with each other. I got plenty of text messages where we're just nice to each other, just talking about our day.
Yeah.
But then, one of us would be like, so you're going to come home and, what are you doing right now? And then it would escalate to, we can't be in a relationship. We can't do this and that. So it's just got me stressed out too. Nobody gives a shit.
So when she was asking for the paperwork for the dog and stuff, had you decided you were going to give it to her or meet up? Or
Told her to go f herself.
Okay. Just because she could go do herself.
Yeah.
She could buy another dog bowl.
Yeah, she works there. You tell me you pass by 1,000 dog bowls a day, you can't borrow one, you can't take one. And then what the f you been eating out since June? He needs this bowl.
That's true. Yeah. So it's more of a thing, just a way to get you. Or
I really think
harp on you about.
Sometimes, and Krista will tell you because she's seen her do it, is that sometimes she would make up a scenario or say she needs something just to get close because she can reel me back in. She's real good at it. So,
she had a Ford Fiesta. Have you ever been in that car?
I think once, yeah. She brought it by the house one time, but it was a while ago.
Did you get in it, or?
Yeah, because that's when she first bought the shit, and I knew I was paying for it, so I got to see it. But,
okay.
And the last time she brought Jupiter by the house a couple times, and it's always been in that car.
Okay, but so did you get in it, or?
I've been in it, yeah.
Okay. So when was that, roughly?
Oh, I don't know. Like I said, that's when she used to come by the house and tell me she was coming. But Jupiter, take him out.
So would that have been like July, August?
Yeah, it had to have been.
Okay.
June, July, August. Because she stopped coming around because I stopped playing the game. Mostly. I just told her, I'm not playing the game anymore. I'm done playing with you. Because I already knew that she was dating a guy, but she was still trying to get back with me. She's already dating this dude named Bill. And then she was dating some dude before that, and then she was dating some other dude, and I'm like, just be with them.
Did that piss you off?
Mm-mm.
You had Hannah, right?
Well, yeah, me and Hannah were dating, not really. But, she was living with me, so.
Yeah. So for all intents and purposes, Katie thought you two were together.
Right. And there's nothing I could have said otherwise. So, And then Cheyenne told her entire family that me and Hannah were dating. So then that's the story. We're dating. Doesn't matter what I say. So then, since Hannah moved out back with her parents, no, I would say that I'm not dating anybody.
Okay. I don't know how much you know about cell phones and stuff like that, but as you go around, your cell phone's constantly
picking up tower,
searching for signals and stuff like that. Right. So with that said, is there anything, going back to last Monday, is there anything that you've told me that your cell phone records would say otherwise?
I don't believe so.
Okay. You don't believe so, or definitely not?
Definitely not.
Okay.
There's a difference.
Yeah, well,
I don't know.
it's tiny, small. What if I told you that your cell phone did ping somewhere other than where you say you were?
Then I'd also say that her cell phone pinged in West Virginia.
Yeah, that ended up being a AT&T mishap. They plugged in the wrong phone number.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay. What if I told you that Charles Scott's phone number pinged in the same area that yours did and not around Zaxby's?
When?
Monday night.
He's got freedom of moving on him. We can call him. You can ask him.
Okay.
But I'm not in control of that man, and I do not take any charge over him because that dude is a lost cause.
Yeah.
I want my $350.
Here we go.
And I would like to change my phone number. If I could move, I would move.
Is there any physical evidence that we're either going to find in that abandoned house, on Katie's body, or on any of her clothing, or in her car that is going to link you to her death?
I don't believe so, no. Definitely not.
Okay. And you understand DNA evidence it's the new thing.
100%.
It's not new, but it's okay. And it's pretty accurate.
Seems cold case files, all that kind of stuff.
Right, yeah. So I just don't want to have to go back in a couple weeks when we get all these results and say, well, John said there ain't no way this could have happened. But so if you did get together last week and have sex or go take the dog for a walk, and that's how your hair could have gotten in her car or something like that, then we need to know that now so we don't have to explain it later.
Yeah, I understand.
So there should be nothing on her body from you.
Right.
Is that fair to say?
That's fair to say.
Okay. So no hairs, no touch DNA.
I can't imagine.
Okay. Because you understand, if I touch Investigator Manley's hand and they come and swab her hand, they're going to get my DNA off.
Right. Fingerprints, sweat.
Right. And that stuff can't be denied. It's, as accurate as a fingerprint, your DNA profile. So I just want to make sure that we're not going to get any surprises.
Right. Yeah.
And these DNA tests take time. It's not like, it is on CSI.
It's not CSI.
I wish it was.
You don't put it in a computer.
Exactly. So
left and right.
But I've had cases before where we've asked somebody something and they said, nope, absolutely not. And then we do get results that match them. And they're like, oh, well, there was this time that such and such. So we have to, eliminate all that now.
Right. Understood.
Okay. Would you, what we've been doing is offering polygraph tests. We've polygraphed a couple people already.
Mm-hmm.
And we're using that as a tool to eliminate people. And
Okay.
once we eliminate people, that means we can kind of narrow down our search. And it helps us so we're not wasting time looking at people that we don't need to be looking at.
Right.
Would you be willing to take a polygraph so we can go ahead and do that with you and eliminate you and start looking elsewhere?
I have to talk to my lawyer about that first.
Okay.
See what he says, because I don't know about that at all.
Yeah. Well, it's nothing that can be used in court. It's a tool we use.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like DNA is a tool, fingerprints are a tool, interviews are a tool.
Right.
So that's something I would like to, see if you'd be willing to do so that we could get past you and start looking, for somebody else.
Well, I'll give him a call tomorrow, and then he'll set something up.
Okay. Is there any information or any questions I haven't asked you that, any information you have that might help us?
I mean, y'all know about this house, though. Y'all know about the abandoned house, because all the news I got is from the media, and they're painting this house as like some house that they knew of, they used to go to, and all this kind of shit. This was an active, spot to go and
Yeah, the news kind of screwed up and said it was a high school hangout. But I know they've been going to it.
I mean, it's a high school hangout, but
it's their current hangout.
Katie's hangout too. Okay, as long as you know, because this news story has been spinning it.
The news screws things up big time.
Yeah. And
we can tell them that the sky was blue and it was 70 degrees, and they'll say it was cloudy and 30.
Right.
How they
I just
screw
wanted
up,
to make sure y'all knew that she'd been there a few times with more than just, recent friends. She'd been there with new guys and stuff like that. I don't know what her family's told you. Hopefully Cheyenne's been, upfront with you, but she's been dating around a lot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're looking into some of that
Okay.
and trying to see if maybe she came across somebody that,
Yeah.
There's a lot of cougars.
Because she was on Tinder, and Tinder's just a face, you know. You can make a Tinder profile.
Oh, sure, yeah.
So she's been on Tinder. I know that for a fact. I saw her on there.
Have you driven Katie's car lately?
No. Okay. I've never driven her car. I just sat in it the one time.
On the passenger seat? Or?
Mm-hmm. I think it was the passenger seat.
What about Charles?
I don't even think they met.
Oh, he's never even met her?
I don't think he's met her.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Are you familiar with where White Horse Road is?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I've taken it. It's 25, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, then yeah, I know where it's at.
Do you know where Augusta Road and it meets? Kind of, it's like Augusta Road turns into 291.
I don't know where Augusta Road is. I'm sorry.
Okay, no, that's fine.
Not from here. 291 is Pleasantburg. 25, the only way I know 25 is because when I drive out to Easley, I take, because I start in Greenville.
Mm-hmm.
So when I'm going through Easley, I cross over 25, and there's a Sphinx that I normally get the cars washed at.
Okay. So this Monday night that we were talking about around 6:15, sometime around that time frame, can you think of any reason your phone would show that you were in that area of Augusta Road and White Horse Road?
No.
Okay. Is there any reason you and Charles were talking a lot that evening?
Yeah, because that's the night that he was here. That's the night he was available.
Mm.
So that's the night I needed my shit.
So you'll be on video at Zaxby's meeting him and eating?
I was eating. He was in Zaxby's, yeah.
All right, so you guys will both be on video?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What time was that roughly?
I don't know. Whatever time you said earlier.
Well, you said it was dark?
Yeah, it was dark.
Okay, so dark is about 7-ish or so?
Yeah.
Okay, and that's the Zaxby's on Fairview Road?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Just to help us remember, or to find you, do you remember what you're wearing?
Oh, hell no. I normally wear jeans and a long sleeve or I mean, I can tell you the rest of it now. It's right next to the drink machine.
Okay.
So.
And Hannah was in there with you?
Mm-hmm.
So it'll be white guy, white girl, black guy.
Mm-hmm.
So he did sit down.
You know what he looks like? He's light-skinned. He's
Yeah.
got a ratty-ass mustache, shaved head. Not shaved, bald, but short.
Okay.
And he normally wears a Baltimore hat. He's got a Baltimore Ravens hat.
Okay.
But I'm pretty sure I can get him. Well, he probably ain't gonna come up here because he's trying to duck and dodge y'all anyway.
Why is that?
Because he thinks he has a warrant for his arrest because he's an idiot. And I told him, call some people and find out, but he refuses to listen to reason.
Man, usually if you got a warrant, you turn yourself in, they'll work with you a little bit.
That's what I told him because when he took my car, I had to report the shit stolen because he crashed it. And I didn't tell him to take it.
Right.
So to me, that's stolen. So I had to do that. And they, I had to press charges on him so I get the insurance to pay for my car. So,
okay.
I think he's like ducking and dodging right now.
Yeah. What do you have, Cheryl?
On your way to Zaxby's, you said you dropped the bag of trash off.
Mm-hmm.
Where'd you dump it at?
I don't know. Probably, I think it was an apartment complex. Because they have the big dumpsters.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember the exact location though.
Like down Harrison Bridge? I'm talking about.
Yeah, like Watertown and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
I think I don't remember. It was a long day.
Okay.
So,
And then where did you go after Zaxby's?
I think I just went home.
With Hannah?
Yeah.
And where's
I
Scott?
might have taken her home. I think I took her back to her parents' house. And then I just went home. I don't hang out with that dude. It's not. So.
Now, some people said that car that they identified as Katie's was seen pulling into your driveway around 5 o'clock.
Crystal told me that, yeah.
Okay. Do you know what the deal is with that?
Mm-hmm. And Crystal told me about that. But like we said, that's a normal move on her part.
Right.
So that really wasn't too much of a concern. I didn't even follow up. I didn't text her or anything when she did that shit. So.
Well, if that was her, why would she back out really fast?
I don't know.
Because you said she'd try and stop by.
I'm not trying to read her mind, so.
No, I understand. But you said that she would stop by and try and see the cat or stop by and bring Jupiter. When was that? Do you know?
I don't know.
Like back in the summer, or here
Whatever I
recently?
said the first time.
Okay. And then what happened Tuesday? What was your day like on Tuesday? Did you go to work?
Tuesday, yeah, I went to work. I've been to work every day since.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you remember talking to Cheyenne at all on Tuesday?
That's the day Cheyenne stay the night now.
Oh, so she spent the night with you on Tuesday night? Yeah. Okay.
I'm trying to think because I'm getting like Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday all spun up because I don't remember those days very well. I was really up last week. Like my head was going. I couldn't concentrate on shit. And I wasn't sleeping. So I'm just thinking, I think Tuesday her and Kimani came and spent the night. I think it was Tuesday.
And that was after everybody knew that Katie was missing?
I think, yeah.
When did you catch wind that Katie was missing? Was it when Miss
Cheyenne called me.
That was before
Mm-hmm.
Moorcraft came and talked to you? And that was Monday, right? Monday?
No, Tuesday afternoon.
Tuesday?
Tuesday afternoon, you came to the house?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Tuesday morning at 1:30 in the morning, Cheyenne called me, said, "Have you heard from Katie?" And obviously it's 1:30 in the morning, so I said, "No, go away, I'm sleeping." And then I talked to Cheyenne like throughout the day. Katie's missing. And then I was like, "Well, do you want to come stay? And like we can like." We went out looking for her.
Did you?
Mm-hmm.
Where did you guys look at?
We went to this house on Scuffletown Road because one of her family members was like, "I found her phone and it's here."
At a house on Scuffletown Road?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Do you remember what house that was?
No, it's probably in a text message to Cheyenne.
What family member told you they found her phone?
8 something. Cheyenne told me
Cheyenne told you that
that one of her family members
found the phone?
Yeah.
And what happened at the house at Scuffletown?
We knocked on the door and said, "Do you know Katie?" And he was like, "No." So I'm like, "Okay, bye." And her car wasn't there, nothing like that, so we left.
Did you look anywhere else?
It was late by that point, so we just kind of went home. And then I asked her if she could stay because I was, at that point, her mom put up that Facebook message with all my information on there. So I asked Cheyenne if she could stay with me, just as like a peace of mind. It's just to ease my mind because I figured nobody's gonna with me if they think Cheyenne's here too. So I had Cheyenne come stay. She left in the middle of the night. I think that was Tuesday. It was Tuesday.
And you said Kamani spent the night too, so was he searching with you that night too?
Yeah, he was in the car too.
And did you ever think to check the abandoned house that night?
Cheyenne told me she already checked it. She told me she had been there and she already checked it. So I was like, "Well, f it then."
And what time did you and Cheyenne meet up that night? Do you remember?
It must have been after he came to the house. So I don't know.
Because he came there around 4:30ish.
It was probably soon after.
And did she just come to your house, or did you meet up with her somewhere else? Or
She was working. She was at work, and that's when. So it had to be 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, because she was at work, and I went to go see her at work, and I was gonna try and get a table in her section, so I just could see her and talk to her. And when I got there, they said that she was getting off. So then me, Kimani, and Hannah went to Sonic, ate some food or whatever, and waited for Cheyenne. Then she came, and we were like, "What are we doing? Like, what are we doing?" So we took Kimani to home to get some clothes. She walked home to get some clothes. And then when she came back, that's when she was like, my aunt, I think she said, found her phone on Scuffletown Road. She's like, "I have the address." And I was like, "Let's go." So we drove out there, and it was just some guy. He didn't know what's going on. He had like 2 regular ass cars. Her car wasn't there. So we were like, "Okay, I guess that's it for us." And we left out. So, but by that time it was pretty late because she didn't get out of work. Actually, get out of work until like 10. So at that point, I had to work the next day. So
you just went back home?
Yeah, normally I'm an early to bed kind of guy.
And you and Katie still talked off and on once a week, twice a week, you said.
We used to.
And you know that she worked at PetSmart. Do you know what kind of hours she kept or anything?
Hell no.
her
So I know
normal
she used
routine?
to work third, and then recently she switched. But her hours have always kind of been different. Like, I knew when she was working at third, it was like 10 to 7 or some shit like that. But I don't know her recent hours.
I'm just going to ask you point blank. Did you kill Katie?
No.
Okay. Do you know who killed her?
No.
This polygraph would really help us. You know, it's not admissible in court. Like I said, it's nothing that you take could be used against you. They're not going to ask you about other off the wall stuff. They're going to ask you direct questions related to her being killed. And the quicker we can get rid of you as a suspect, we've already, like I said, we've done other polygraphs with other people, so it's not like we're targeting on you.
Yeah.
If we were, we wouldn't have waited, a week and a day before we brought you in here. So
that's what everybody's been telling me. So it's that's got my head kind of straight. I've just been paranoid, man. Paranoid. I already got drug out of my house one time for not committing a crime. So, and I think I told you that when I sat down with you.
Yeah, I've read the reports and stuff. I mean, I'm not saying the cops always do things right.
And I'm glad that this is here, not in Fountain Inn.
Yeah, I understand.
You know, because y'all are completely different.
I
mean, y'all just face value are different.
They play by different rules, so it's almost like a different country.
That's what happens when you got like 20 cops in the entire force.
I understand.
So yeah, I told you that whenever you came out to work. I was like, I'm already kind of nervous. I'm just glad it's here.
Do you have your cell phone with you? What kind of phone do you have?
I got the V10, the LG V10.
Okay.
V10, yeah.
Does that have a lock code on, or how do you?
Yeah, it's got a lock on.
Is it like a number lock, or? Do you mind telling me what the number lock is?
Yes, I do. That's my pin for everything. I'm not going to tell you that.
Okay.
Next thing I know, you taking out $20 on my bank.
No.
That's all I got.
I'm a pretty honest guy. When it comes to money.
That's all I got right now is my $20. I need gas money.
One of the things that we're doing with people is getting swabs from their mouth. It's basically skin cell samples that we use to create a DNA profile.
Right.
It's just basically a big Q-tip, swab it on the inside of the mouth, and then submit that to create a DNA profile to compare to evidence that we get. Are you okay with that?
I'll talk to my lawyer about it, yeah.
Okay. Well, what we've been doing with people is we've been getting search warrants to get them. That way we don't have to mess around with, I do or I don't, or I need to call my mom or, stuff like that. So I've got a search warrant to get your DNA.
Okay.
Like I said, you're not the first one. I can show you, other people we've gotten it from.
That's fine. I'm not going to fight a warrant. I'm not going to fight the court.
Yeah. I mean, that's one of those things. A couple other things. We do have a warrant for your phone. So I need you to turn that over.
Oh, man. Can I text my boss?
You can write down a phone number and call him, but I can't let you make any calls or any texts right now.
I got that from you.
Can I get the number real quick?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. And y'all can take this down.
We're already over on time, so what do you think the purpose was asking him to volunteer to a buccal swab, volunteer pin to his phone when they already had a warrant?
He's guarded against them finding information that he doesn't want them to see.
Well, it also shows that he's not cooperative. By asking, they didn't have to ask him. They said, "Hey, by the way, give me your phone, and here's the search warrant, and here's a buccal swab. We have a search warrant." They could force that. They don't have to ask for permission. I think it's a good tactic, is to give them an opportunity to be cooperative, because that's really all you're going to get out of this. This guy's not going to give it up. But
I agree.
And I've seen this part. This part is interesting. I will say this. When it comes to a search warrant, you as the subject that's being searched, you have the right to the search warrant and a list of items that have been taken from your inventory. You don't have the right to review the affidavit on the scene. Your attorney can. You can have a hearing in court if you're eventually subsequently charged with anything. You can review the affidavit. What you guys are going to witness here is these investigators, are going to read the entire search warrant affidavit. Many folks may have not heard this. You'll hear paragraphs where the officer explains where their experience is, why the judge should believe them. I have this many years experience, blah, blah, blah. You're going to hear it break down the very specific things that the search warrant covers and where the location that may be searched. So this is interesting. We'll talk about why they did that at the back end of it.
Captain called me and said, okay, I got two numbers now because my captain's trying to call me too.
Here, you want a sticky note or something?
Can you just write it down for me? Because I got a couple numbers here.
Yeah, hang on 1 second. On my pen. Go ahead.
I'm going to take blood again.
That's just a swab of your mouth. Painless. All right, you got all the numbers you need?
Yeah, I'm just waiting for it to lock.
Okay, all right, go ahead. I need the phone. So like I said, we got a search warrant.
Okay.
Okay, so go ahead and hand the phone over to me.
Where's the warrant at?
Oh, it's right here. You'll get a copy of it in just a second.
I just want to see it before I give up my shit.
Search warrant for your phone.
I'm sorry, I watch TV too.
I was telling you, list your phone number.
Cell phone.
Like color cell phone, unknown manufacturer, Blum John Blauvelt, gives your date of birth, and the assigned telephone number. And it's signed by Judge Dean Ford.
Okay. Sounds good to me. You know, I've been left-handed my whole life.
Yeah.
And I see how you got the paper angled, you know. I didn't learn that until last week.
To angle the paper?
To angle it that way. I always went the other way, so all my font was italicized. I didn't know. I was trying to read some shit. I was like, how
So you went like this?
Yeah. And everything was coming in crazy. And I really didn't know this whole time. So I wanted to improve my handwriting recently. So I've been spending time at night, like doing cursive and shit. And I was like, let me see. And now all of it's like straight up like it's supposed to.
Yeah.
Well, I gotta be an idiot. I blamed somebody when I was like 8 or 9, but I gotta be an idiot too.
You know, it used to suck being left-handed is when you're in school and you have the right-handed desks and you have to always lean over. That's probably
Or
why
like
I
that
learned
pen
it.
right there, and you start smudging everything you're writing out. Yeah. That's my favorite.
He's nervous as hell. He's raising irrelevant conversations to try to bring his nerves down.
I ain't never gonna see that phone back. They don't give that stuff back until there's like until the shit's done with, right?
It all just kind of depends. I'm
just asking. Like,
yeah, it just depends. Like I said, it depends on if there's any evidentiary value to that phone, then it just kind of depends on what it is. This is a search warrant for your DNA. Like investigator more have to explain to you.
John, while she's doing that, we also got a search warrant for your car.
Okay.
So this is the search warrant for that. I'm going to give you this copy.
Sure.
It says to any bonded law enforcement officer in the county, in this state or county or municipality of Simpsonville, appearing before the attached affidavit, there's reasonable grounds to believe that certain property is subject to seizure under provisions 1713-140, 1976 Code of Laws, State of South Carolina as amended. It's located on the following premises. Description of person, place, or thing to be searched: 2007 Prius, golden color, registered to John Tufton Blauvelt, South Carolina tag KHJ933. Your VIN number is listed out. It says you're therefore hereby authorized to search the subject premise for the property described below and to seize such property if found. Description of property: interior and exterior search and processing of the vehicle to include digital photographs, latent processing, collection of blood and other body materials, of other body fluids and fibers, DNA processing, firearms and ammunition, spent shell casings, projectiles, cutting instruments, and or blown objects that may have been used as a weapon, cell phones and any other electronic devices used for communication, legal and illegal drugs or paraphernalia, notes, sketches, documents, accelerant samples, burn debris, and any other items that may be evidence in the investigation of the death of Catherine Ann Blauvelt.
Okay.
That's signed by Judge Dean Ford on November the 1st. Okay. Probable cause section of the warrant says the affiant is an investigator with the Simpsonville Police Department and has 23 years law enforcement experience. The affiant has been assigned as an investigator for 13 years and has received extensive training in the investigation of violent crimes. The affiant is currently investigating the murder of Catherine Ann Blauvelt. which occurred on or about 10/24/2016. The victim's body was located in the basement of an abandoned residence at 817 Southeast Main Street. An autopsy determined the victim's manner of death to be a homicide. The affiant and other investigators have conducted multiple interviews with friends, family, and acquaintances of the victim and her estranged husband, John Tufton Blauvelt. These interviews have yielded multiple statements in which the interviewees stated John Blauvelt has made comments about his desire to kill the victim and his plan to hide her body in the house located at 817. The affiant also has recorded statements from witnesses who say John Blauvelt had approached them and offered them monetary compensation for assisting him in murdering the victim and offering him an alibi by using his cell phone, debit cards, and vehicle in another city to make it appear as if he was not in the area at the time of the victim's death. The affiant has also compiled police reports from the Fountain Inn Police Department that show John Blauvelt was arrested in February 2016 for domestic violence first degree, where he was alleged to have pointed a gun at the victim. Threatened her life. John Blauvelt had a pending criminal charge that if he was found guilty would most likely result in his discharge from the U.S. Army, where he's employed full-time. Blauvelt has made statements to multiple persons about the existence of a life insurance policy he holds on the victim for between $100,000 and $150,000, in which he is the beneficiary. The affiant has obtained recorded statements from witnesses that state the victim's vehicle was driven to the residence of John Blauvelt in South Carolina on 10/24/16 at 4:56 p.m. This is the day the victim disappeared and was last seen alive. The witnesses describe the driver as someone other than the victim and state that the driver was wearing a black jacket with the hood pulled over. The witnesses stated 15 minutes after the victim's vehicle pulled out from the residence, John Blauvelt came up from the backyard sweating profusely and was wearing a black hooded jacket similar to the one of the person driving the victim's vehicle. Blauvelt did not have a shirt on underneath the jacket and claimed to have been running. The victim's vehicle was later located at Road in Greenville, South Carolina, in a strip shopping center. Video surveillance from the area shows the vehicle being dropped off on 10/24/2016 at approximately 6:15 p.m. The second vehicle pulls up with the victim's vehicle and it matches the description of John Blauvelt's 2007 gold Toyota Prius. The second vehicle drives off after approximately 5 minutes with the driver of the victim's vehicle. Cell phone records from John Blauvelt's phone number obtained from AT&T place his phone in the area at the time the victim's vehicle was dropped off. It is the affiant's belief, based upon the aforementioned evidence, that the 2007 Toyota Prius belonging to John Blauvelt contains evidence related to the death of Catherine Blauvelt. Okay, do you have any questions about the wording of that warrant?
Do you have to take the car? You're going to take my car?
Yes.
All right. No, I got no questions.
Okay, all right, that's a copy of that warrant.
Yes, sir.
Do you want me to read the all that for these two, or do they all say the same thing?
It's all basically the same. Did you want her to read these warrants so you're going to get copies of them?
That's all for the swabs.
Yeah, for the swabs and the cell phone. Do you want me to read out the probable cause section just like he was?
If it's the same shit, then you're good.
It is. Having heard the affidavits and the evidence that is mentioned in those, do you want, is there anything you want to say?
No, sir.
Okay. All right, I got everything else. Just want to just give the time and cut the recorder off. Is there anything else you want to say before we finish up the interview?
Me?
Yeah.
Okay. The time is now 4:59 p.m.
I just want to make a comment about reading the affidavit to him. Now, some states may be different. It may be a requirement in, I forget, North Carolina, South Carolina, to read the affiant probable cause section. In Texas, and I can't think of another state I can't think of a state that would be that way. That affidavit would be filed with the court. You can get it, but we're not leaving that at the crimes or at your house. If we search your house, we're going to leave you the first page, which is the actual warrant signed by the judge, and an inventory of whatever we've taken. But I think reading it to him, and you can comment on this if you'd like, Lamar, that I think reading it to him initially drew in this emotional cascade. This guy was seeing spots and his ears were ringing. And I think it's the first point during this whole process, he was able to put together that the police have done a lot of work. He's committed himself to stories about I didn't have my phone. I didn't give my phone to someone else. We saw on the screen where they plotted it out where this phone had been all these different locations, all the way back to what he did the day that his estranged wife came missing. That remember the story about the hiking trail that well, I don't like to wear running shoes, so I didn't do that. So I took my cat or my dog or whatever he had, took the on and did some trail running. This describes why he did confront someone. Someone saw him and he knew that the why he was sweating and said I was working out. But I thought that was a unique part of it that reading, even if they're to provide it, that I'm sure they're not required to read the PC affidavit to them.
No, that was fantastic, and I think out of all the shows you've done, Joe, this is the closest thing I've seen to what's done in the IC is what we call a data dump, where when a subject is unwilling to be honest, you're able to confront them in some form or fashion with all of the evidence that you have to show that that you're lying, and we know it. And to watch him essentially shift from defiance to defeat as they were reading that. And then you notice at the very end, a very nuanced linguistic thing, he started using no sir. He started to realize that he's in trouble, and all of the kind of nonchalant language he was using to the folks in the position of authority went away, and he started realizing that they're in charge.
And not only that, I think he may not realize it sitting in that chair, but over the next couple hours after this, whether he's in jail or they release him, actually they do release him, but he's going to start remembering what he said, and then that affidavit's going to ring in the ear too, where they did a good job. They let him paint himself into a corner that there's no explanation other than you're lying. But see here, I'll go back to, I don't think they arrest him because I don't think they have quite the smoking gun. They're looking for buccal swabs. They're gonna seize his car or search his car. They're gonna go back to the body. They're gonna try to put some physical evidence together on this guy. But let's find out what happens after this. The story still has a couple of turns in it.
After his second interview with investigators, John Blavelt began to sense the walls closing in. Investigators had gathered troubling evidence about his tumultuous relationship with Katie and were focusing their attention on him. Blavelt refused to take a polygraph test and declined to speak further with detectives without a lawyer. Realizing that his arrest was imminent, Blavelt made the decision to flee. In October 2016, just days after Katie's body was discovered, Blavelt vanished from South Carolina, taking his 17-year-old girlfriend, Hannah Thompson, with him. As a soldier stationed at a nearby military base, his sudden disappearance led the Army to declare him a deserter. Investigators later suggested that his motive for fleeing, and possibly for the murder, was to be with his underage girlfriend without interference. Further investigation revealed that Hannah Thompson had deeper involvement in the events surrounding Katie's murder. Arrest warrants indicated that Thompson was aware of the murder and actively helped Blavelt cover his tracks. On the day of the murder, Thompson reportedly drove Blavelt to Woodruff Road, near Katie's workplace, and dropped him off. Later, she followed him as he drove Katie's car to a parking lot on Whitehorse Road, where he abandoned the vehicle. These actions concealed key details and hampered the initial investigation. Blavelt's fugitive status prompted a nationwide manhunt. Authorities tracked sightings of him and Thompson across several states, with reports placing them in New Mexico by November 2016. In December, Thompson was found safe in Oregon after being abandoned by Blavelt. She sought help from a family friend in Eugene before contacting her parents to return home. For nearly 6 years, the U.S. Marshal Service pursued Blavelt, listing him as one of their most wanted fugitives and labeling him armed and dangerous. Finally, in July 2022, he was apprehended in Medford, Oregon, and extradited to South Carolina to face charges for Katie's murder. During his trial in September 2022, Blavelt was charged with murder and possession of a weapon during the commission of a violent crime. Prosecutors detailed the violent and controlling nature of Blavelt's relationship with Katie and argued that his actions were premeditated. They also highlighted his apparent desire to eliminate Katie to freely pursue his relationship with Thompson. The jury found him guilty, and he was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. Hannah Thompson faced charges of misprison of a felony, obstruction of justice, and accessory after the fact due to her actions in assisting Blavelt on the day of the murder. She pleaded not guilty, and her case remains ongoing. For Katie's family, the resolution of Blavelt's case brought a measure of justice, but not closure. At just 22 years old, Katie's life was cut tragically short, leaving her loved ones grappling with grief and heartbreak. Remembered as vibrant, kind, and full of potential, her family continues to honor her memory and advocate for victims of domestic violence. Through their efforts, they hope to prevent others from suffering a similar fate, ensuring that Katie's legacy lives on as a call to action for justice and safety.
All right, folks, that's our video. We are over on time. We're going to go out of here with some 3D response. Folks, you've heard.
Do you ever get any money from Costello?
No.
And did you ever get any money from Meyer Lansky?
I never got money from any of those fellas.
None of those
None
fellas?
of those fellas. None of these that I've been reading about, or none that I knew. They never gave me anything.
None of the Fichettes?
No.
You
I
think-
don't even speak to the... I mean, I met that Charlie once or twice. I don't even talk to him.
You don't like him?
I was conscious of the fact that he had a reputation for being an outstanding bookmaker.
You ever hear him referred to as the Prime Minister of the Underworld?
That term I did not.
Also known as Duck Corella.
I refuse to answer on the grounds of an attempt to
Got any business?
I refuse to answer on the grounds of attempt to criminal.
You have any profession?
I refuse to answer on the grounds of
You have any occupation?
I refuse to answer on the grounds of
Are you a known racketeer?